Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's number one Chief Rock Knicks University, man, Uncle Freezy, coming through to talk that Knicks talk the way that y'all like to have that Knicks talk to y'all. I'm being joined by Chief M3 on the screen. Mr. Murphy's in the building. We are going to talk about the Knicks road to a championship. So we're going to talk some Knicks stuff. We're going to talk about other teams in the bracket and what needs to go right and what we have to avoid in order for the Knicks to win the NBA championship. What's good, bro?
I'm good. How about you? Life is good. So let's get ready.
Life is good, man. I love that Nas reference, bro. Mm-hmm. Love them Nas references, bro. Right now, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I'm a little bit frustrated that the Miami Heat is beating the Chicago Bulls, bro.
Why? We don't have to see them this year, unless we get to the conference finals.
And listen, I think that the Miami Heat will be a tougher opponent for the Boston Celtics.
That's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
But my thing is, Knicks fans, every show clamor for DeMar DeRozan. Every show that I do, somebody is clamoring for DeMar DeRozan. And now DeMar DeRozan is on the biggest stage this year. And he ain't doing diddly poo.
Mm-mm. Just a good mid-range guy who just doesn't get it done. He's always going to be the number 2 guy. And that's okay. He's going to the Hall of Fame. So
yeah, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
He's going to the Hall of Fame on longevity, but in terms of big man and big game, he's the second guy.
Yeah, he did. I don't know why that man doesn't explode in big games, bro. That's frustrating me a lot.
You know what it is? I think he's the type of player that doesn't force anything. You know how he just goes with the flow and plays within the system. He's not the type to just be like, damn the system, give me the ball and just get out the way and I'm gonna get us 50 and when I'm gonna get us there. No matter how it is.
Right. But that's frustrating to me though, that Knicks fans want a guy like that, knowing that he is what you just outlined and described.
Yeah, but he's you know what it is? Because he's consistent, you know. But I actually have a cutoff age for guys like this. You know, he's about at that age for me. You know, my cutoff age is about 35. After you get about 35, you're not a leader of the team no more. You can't be the best player on the team and win the championship. So as you will see, the guys that are over 35, and it's kind of consistent. You know, the only 2 guys I've seen do it are Jordan and LeBron win championships over that age and actually lead their team. You could say Kareem, but he had magic. But in the big picture of things, once you get over 35, you're not leading your team to a championship.
Absolutely. And Chicago Bulls, I hoped you had bags packed because Cancun is calling your name.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't make sense, bro. Mm-mm. It don't make sense that Chicago, with all the built-in advantage, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I think I'm firing Billy Donovan, bro.
Well, you may not. Well, yeah, Kentucky hired.
Yeah, they got their guy already, right?
Yeah,
right.
So I'm gonna say, I would fire him. But they also haven't been the same since they lost Lonzo. You know, so he was kind of their leader, even though he's not really a real scorer. But you know how sometimes you're missing that guy, and that's the guy they probably miss more than anything. You know.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's a championship player either. But
yeah, no.
You know, he can help them a little bit.
Yeah. About these Knicks though, I've been hearing a lot of disrespectful chatter on both sides. I've been hearing a lot of the Knicks don't have what it takes to beat the Sixers. I've also been hearing a lot of Knicks in 4. And I'm part of that crew that Knicks in 4. I'm a part of that crew. Right. I honestly can't see with I can't see with excellent vision a way that a team that we dominated with their guy, right? We beat them by 30 with Embiid, right? And then for the most part, we washed them up in the other games, except for the one where we legit scored 73 points on a Sunday afternoon.
And that's the one I was going to say. There's a caveat to that, and that was that
Yeah.
game. And, there's always that game, and this is the playoffs, so there will be nothing missed in terms of the coaching and the attention to detail. So I'm actually kind of nervous for this series, actually. I think it could go 7. I'm not talking for, and I'll be real nervous if it goes 7. I'm hoping it doesn't go 7, but I got us winning in about 5 or 6 games, though.
I have us winning in
3.5. I heard you at that 4. Yeah.
No lie. And chat, and this is what I'm saying. When I say winning in 3.5, what I mean is the Knicks are going to win their 2 at home. They'll go on a road and win a tough game 3. And in that game 4, when Philly, realizes that they don't have a chance, bro, I could see them waving a white flag. When we get up by 23-24 in the third quarter, I can see the air coming out of that very, very, very veteran team.
That's what I'm hoping for.
If they had young, fresh legs, like think about it, outside of Tyrese Maxey, what other young player do they have?
They don't have one. All they have is they don't have one. They just got Tobias Harris, who nobody's actually speaking about.
Yeah. So you talk to Tobias Harris, Nick Batum, Kyle Lowry, Cameron Payne. Bro, once we get up in a big lead in game 3 or game 4, they're gonna be thinking about house payments, bro.
Yeah,
they're gonna be thinking about stuff like that, bro. That's how historically, that's how teams get. They'll get down by a lot. They'll try to make a run. They won't be able to. They'll try to make another run. They won't be able to, and they'll subliminally wave. They'll wave the white flag really slow. Like they won't just wave it. They'll just ease that white flag on up.
I'm hoping we see that. I'm hoping we see that from Joel Embiid.
Right.
I hope because he's not looking too good out there. He wasn't looking good the other day, so I'm hoping it stays the same.
They should have lost that game, bro. They should have lost that game when the score was tied, and then when the score was tied, and Miami ran that drag play. The drag play they ran against us last year, where they run 2 people across the lane and sneak somebody in front of the rim underneath.
Yep.
That play that they ran, and they kept trapping. They kept getting Obi underneath the rim. They ran that same play and got a dunk late plus the foul.
Yep.
Yeah, and so with at least we know that play is coming, and we'll have an OG Anunoby or a Precious or a big forward on the floor to defend that. Whereas the Sixers are out there with I'm saying it wrong, but the Sixers ran that play that Miami ran against us, and then Miami was trying to defend it with the small ball lineup, and it didn't work because Joel Embiid is the league MVP. Basically, is how it happened.
Yep. Which is going to be very interesting because I'm kind of thinking, and I heard I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I forgot which one it was on, but he was saying how they're probably going to put Joel on Josh Hart, because Josh Hart doesn't shoot, and they're just going to have Joel roam, until Josh Hart starts shooting them or making them, and that's going to be so he's going to be clogging the lane, So I'm really gonna see how this matchup is going to be tomorrow, because you already know that's coming.
Right. I think our key to the series is make Joel Embiid move his feet.
Yes.
Make him move his feet in a number of ways. Get the rebounds, make that man run in transition. In the half court, whoever he's guarding, make that player run around the court, have Joel Embiid either track that player or make him switch off of that player.
Yeah, put him in pick and rolls with Brunson, have him chase Brunson.
Yeah.
See how that leg moves. See how it shifts left and right, and how he can do lateral movements.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Get Joel Embiid fighting over traffic. You don't want Joel
Mm-hmm.
Embiid fighting over screens, but getting him fighting through the wash, getting
Mm-hmm.
that man moving around on that leg.
Yeah.
You,
Chase,
and
chase.
Yep. And the other thing too, if you're a Knicks defender, when he catches the ball out on the perimeter, stay down and make him shoot jump shots. If he
Mm-hmm.
make jump shots over you, so what? Right? But you know he's not mobile, right? You know he's not going to put the ball on the floor and drive it consistently, right? So you want to stay down because he's going to pump fake you and foul bait, right? All you have to do is stay there with your hand up. Don't even move. Just put your
Mm-hmm.
hand straight in the sky. Make that man if that man hits 5 or 6 jump shots over you, then I would say that you change, but nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. If that man hits 1 or 2 jump shots in a row, I'm still employing the same defense.
Yep. Let him. I would just let him go. Just let him do him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Let him do him. Let him think that we're not doing anything, and just keep the defense in the shell the way they keep it.
Right. 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 Because I don't think they can get a consistent. I don't think they can get a consistent effort from their role players. Like for instance, Buddy Hield is a 3-point shooter, right? But Buddy Hield hasn't shot 40% from 3 the last 2 seasons.
Mm. Has he
You
Salute.
how you
Freezy,
doing?
salute.
Peace,
Salute to the
peace.
chat. Salute
Yeah.
into.
How you doing?
I'm
Has
doing
he
all right, brother.
has speaking of Buddy Hill, how many playoff games has he actually played in?
who?
Buddy
I'm not
Hield just broke. Well, he had the most games played in the league without a playoff. He's getting
Oh,
his
that's
first
right.
one.
Yeah, that's right.
He's getting his
He's like
first one.
600. Yep, it's like 623 games. So this is his first playoff game. So this is gonna be
Yeah,
interesting to see.
the next person that has displayed the most with appearance is, I believe, Laurie Markkinen with 400 something
Mm-hmm.
games.
okay.
Yep. Yep, I did
Okay,
see
so
that.
what that tells us basically, and no disrespect to Buddy Hield, and this is the thing that I used to say to Dre about Damian Lillard 2 years ago, but some dudes are not really built to win, not big
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I think DeMar DeRozan is proving that tonight by the way the Chicago Bulls look, and Buddy Hield is probably um in that same vein, but you can't really judge him because before last year Josh Hart was in that boat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
So
we don't know if they're a playoff performer until we put them in that scenario. But he's going to be in an hostile environment, and role players don't thrive in scenarios that they get put in. The Garden on the road in their first game.
right.
No, the Garden's gonna be real loud tomorrow.
Yeah.
Real loud. Like it's gonna be real loud. It's gonna be different tomorrow.
Yeah. So Jay, what we were talking about, man, but before you got here, so we mentioned a couple things. We were talking about the keys to victory for the Knicks. Do you have a specific key to victory for the Knicks?
Ooh, kind of put me on the spot there, but coming to think of it, it's really, if you had to ask me off rip, containing their role player shooters, because I think for the most part, outside of when Embiid starts going to the paint, we're gonna of course stunt and jab, try to rip in, but for the most part, we need to be able to stunt and get back to shooters. Because when they have lineups, like hypothetically speaking, they might have lineups with Batum out there, Bray, Tobias Harris, all guys that are about 6'8" taller that can shoot, to be able to get good contests on them, especially if we're going to be running smaller lineups, because Embiid's going to be in a position where he's not gonna have the scoring ability that he normally is. He's going to be looking to defer to his teammates a lot more,
Right.
and for them to stay games with us, if they're not rebounding at a high clip, which they won't because they're just not a good defensive rebounding team, they're gonna have to be shooting at a high clip from 3, and they're gonna be relying on Embiid and Maxey to create opportunities behind the line. That's the real equalizer when you go against teams that rebound better. If you can shoot, that kind of nullifies the rebounding. So I think we need to be able to stunt and recover, and our rotations have to be on point continuously throughout the game to mitigate point shot. Because once a couple guys get a couple shots going in, you can see the beginning of games that might give them the confidence, especially a guy like Oubre. If Oubre sees one or two going, he could be the difference in a win or a loss. Because Oubre is like a wild to me for them. Oubre is a wild card where if he's confident, he can get them anywhere from 20 to 25 and be that third scorer that they need outside of Maxi and Joel. But if he's not going, if they're not necessarily getting that production from the role player, because realistically they need a third scorer, and if they're not getting that third scorer, I don't see how the Sixers can.
Hey, real quick, your microphone's going in and out.
My bad. Let me fix it.
Okay.
Did you
Yeah,
get my point though?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
I got you.
So Chief, what do you think about that? What Dre said?
He had a lot of points. I'm really into the Oubre thing because he's the reason why they won that game when they beat us. He was the main reason.
Right.
So I do agree with him on that. Just keep the scoring down. I would just maintain what we've been doing. Just do what we do best and focus on that, and we'll be all right. The only difference is that they're gonna have Embiid this time.
Right.
So I think whoever they put, whoever OG's guarding, that day is over for them. They're gonna be shooting like 30%. So
Right.
So that would be my key.
I'm gonna say this to that also. I think the defense won't be an issue for us. It depends on how the officiating goes. If we legit get playoff officiating, right? Refs swallow the whistle a little bit more than they normally would. If they let certain things go, I think that plays right into the hands of the Knicks.
That's a problem for Joel Embiid because if Hardenstein and Mitch can be physical with him and push him a little bit and get that knee loose and just playoff foul, he's not going to get 10. He's not going to get 10 free throws a game, 10, 15 free throws, and that's where that's where his points come from. That's where he slows the game down. That's where he plays at that pace, and that's another thing. He'll play a little bit faster than they do. Right. Because we're a good, efficient offense, but we don't play at a fast pace because Brunson pounds the basketball. He had the most dribbles this year.
Right. And yeah, and part of that has to do with our roster makeup, where we don't have other shot creators for others as much.
Yeah.
But what I would say is if we get playoff defense, Philly is in trouble on that end. And also if Joel Embiid is at 70%, I can't see them stay in any game with us at all. Right? Because the 73-point game that they beat us on that Sunday afternoon, that Sunday evening, that was like a once a season poor shooting performance. And it just happened to occur against them because their defense is not elite, right? They don't come in with the number one ranked defense. We definitely were. That afternoon they won, and I'll give them their credit, but they only scored 79 points. So it's not like they beat us 110 to 73, right? Both teams were off that day. Right. And what I'm saying is I think the Knicks can bring that defense every day. Right. I think the Knicks are probably a top 5 defense. And Philly, you don't know what their defense is because they've had so many different lineups. You don't know what they can be, especially when they put Buddy Hield on the floor. You never know what their defense is going to look like.
I can agree with that. I think that I'll give Nick Nurse some credit where he can dial up some schemes, but I think our offense has been our offense has.
They're gonna let him.
Hold on. I think our offense has been basically training for unorthodox schemes and panic blitzes and all these types of junk defenses that teams have been throwing at us for like the last 2.5 months since Randall's been out. Like we're
Right.
kind of
Am
been
I having no
waiting
Wi-Fi
for.
trouble?
No, you good. Well, I can see,
Yeah. All right.
but I think we've been seeing these coverages. Like I remember, what's his name, the coach of the Kings, and he legitimately said,
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown legitimately said, the only guy we ever cover like Stephen Curry is Jalen Brunson. And if you notice, Stephen Curry looked very human the other night, while Jalen Brunson against that same scheme where they blitz and pick up and hedge and trap and ignore other guys on the court. Jalen Brunson had what 43 and 32 against that team with ease.
Right.
I don't see, especially if Joel Embiid is going to be playing in that heavy drop the entire time and they're relying on him heavily. I don't see a reasonable way for them to legitimately stop Brunson. I just don't. If they include any big in a pick and roll and Joel is included, I don't think there's a reasonable way to stop Brunson unless they decide to go to straight up zone defense to hide him. And we have the shooters to shoot you out of a zone. They don't play zone like Miami.
Right.
So it's gonna be a cat and mouse game. It's gonna be a feeling out process, especially the first half of this series. The first half of the first game of the series is gonna be a cat and mouse feeling out, and then after maybe game two, what you get is what you get. It's all about execution at that point, and I think we have the pieces to execute, especially if Joel Embiid is hobbling without the explosiveness or the lateral movement. Because man, Freezy, I don't know if you were watching that Sixers Heat playing game,
Yeah.
but every time Tyler Hero got a dribble handoff from Bam Adebayo, he was booty butt naked open, just wide open. He just
Yep.
missed a lot of shots.
He just missed a lot of shots.
Yeah,
And that's why
Jimmy Butler
kept
made him a
taking them.
hit, and Jimmy Butler told him about himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why he kept that's why he kept taking them because the shots were there. He just wasn't hitting.
hitting. He wasn't hitting them, but like he was coming off those dribble handoffs and those give and goes with Bam Adebayo, and he had the mid range was open for him the entire game. The 3-point shot was open for him the entire game because Joel just doesn't have the explosiveness to contain. And I'm sorry, Tyler Hero does not have the bag that Brunson has. So if you're gonna give Brunson open 15 footers, you're asking for 50-point games. And if you're
Right.
not willing to concede that, and you're gonna go to a zone of some sort or try to press, well, we have multiple shooters on the scene. Like this might be one of the series. Like I think Deuce might have a big role in this series too, just
Right.
because of however however the Celtics, however the Sixers decide to play defense. Because if they decide to play man, Brunson's gonna eat. If they decide to zone and hedge and trap, we're gonna have to put out as many 40% 3-point shooters as possible. And we have about 4 of them at our disposal.
Right.
So it's gonna be about execution. But the way Joel's looking, I don't see them slowing us down offensively.
No. I'm trying to put some data together because I'm gonna shock you with this number I'm working on, right? But let me do this. What do we have to do defensively to stop them?
Defensively,
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What do we have to do defensively to stop their backcourt? I'm sorry.
on the backcourt.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna basically, if you've noticed that our theme throughout the season, it's a lot of guys that get to the paint and then stunt and then get back. It's everybody having all eyes on the ball handler. Like all 10 eyeballs have to be on the ball handler. But you can't be overly committed because they will dribble and kick out to shooters. So it's one of those things where we're gonna have to rely on Dante and Deuce for the most part to slow down Tyrese Maxey. I'm not too worried about their other guards. Like Kyle Lowry can be helpful in a pinch, but he's not going to be dominant
I'm worried about
offensively.
Kyle Lowry getting wide open threes, but
That-
anything contested, it's like Mitch shooting a three. As far as
I would be worried about Kyle Lowry hitting a shot in the fourth quarter when he's not supposed to, and making a play like he threw when he was throwing the ball. Even though he was receiving it, throwing the ball to save time on the clock. Like those are the type of plays he made. He did that last year, Tess, in what was it? Besides game one, was it like game 3 or something like that? Last year when he was playing for the Heat. So he's the pain in the ass player. So
but at this stage of his career, he's not creating shots for himself.
that's true, but all it takes is one game. This the playoffs. It don't even take one game. It just takes one moment, and
A quarter.
and actually, LeBron James said this on his podcast. He said one play could change the whole series for the other team, and then that's over. Like you can't stop them after that.
In terms of them figuring out what you're trying to do, even if they don't win the game, going further in the series. But I understand that completely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, man, if they're looking like that and they're needing Nicholas Batum to drop his only 20-point game in the last 4 months,
right.
Hey, look,
right. It's, so
that's just not sustainable basketball. What they're doing, if that's their game plan.
Right. Just keeping it a stack with you. I think this is an old team that's ready to fold. Right. And everybody's name that we said outside of Tyrese Maxey is very veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Very veteran. Right. And so what that means, it doesn't mean that vets are bad, right? What it means is these guys here, they may be experienced, but at this point in a lot of these dudes' careers, their skills are definitely diminished. Right? You don't get a prime Nicholas Batum on that sweetheart deal they got unless Nicholas Batum is in theory washed at the small forward position.
Yeah.
The year last year when he hit that game tying 3 at the buzzer, he was playing center.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? You remember in February last year when he hit that buzzer beater at the
he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing center, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when you talk about Kyle Lowry and others, I think you just gotta,
I think the guard on that team that you're actually afraid of is Campaign.
Nah, I'm not.
No.
I'm teasing Freezy with that one.
No, I know, I get it because I looked at the guard comparison. I looked at Maxey, Healed, Payne. They have another guard too. I forgot. They have another guard. Melton is out for the series.
Yeah, he's not playing.
I don't know if he's out for the series, but
I know
he's
he's
out
not
for the
playing
first
game
game.
1. Yeah, he's not playing game 1.
Oh, okay. But it was another guard though. It wasn't Melton. It was what's his name? Where is he?
Well, it ain't Patrick Beverly because they traded him.
Yeah, it was Patrick. Yeah, it was Patrick Beverly.
They traded him for Hield.
No,
well,
I know.
Not for Hield, but
no, they cut Pat Bev, right? Oh no,
they traded
him to Milwaukee.
To Milwaukee, yeah.
They swapped backup point guards.
Yeah. But any of those guards, bro, any of the guards that we're talking about, those dudes don't concern me, bro. You know what I'm saying? None of those guys that we're talking about is anything in my mind worth even talking about, right? None of them.
Yeah, they won the game with Maxey only getting 16 points, so they got lucky the other day. So
Maxey was shooting terrible that game.
Yeah,
and this is if we try to turn it into an isolation game. Maxey's a good player, but he's at his best in transition. He's actually a poor isolation basketball player.
Right.
And Embiid on one wheel, you don't know what type of player you're gonna get. And I think if you had to ask me, we're gonna try to bait them into playing ISO, your turn, my turn type basketball. And if it turns into that, it won't work out well for them.
Right. If it turned and so all these things that you guys mentioned, and I know I sound like a homer New York Knicks fan, but as basketball guys, I think the three of us probably love basketball, just the sport, and our Knicks fans too. Love the Knicks too. But basketball, if we're just talking about basketball, bro, all the points you made means it's a landslide for the Knicks. If Joel Embiid has to move his feet, if they have to depend on a bench, their bench right now features Nicholas Batum, Paul Reed, Cam Payne, Buddy Hield. Right? If they have to depend on that to beat us, I think all signs point to us beating this team in 4 games. If they like legit, if like what Dre said, if they have to depend on Tyrese Maxey scoring in the half court, ISOing, that plays right into our hands because we just happen to have 3 or 4 good ISO defenders and 2 elite ISO defenders.
And I really don't care what anybody says. I don't think they really have good spacing. So for me, I'm all about letting them shoot as many threes as they can because I just believe that Tobias Harris won't hit them. And it's Buddy Hield's first playoff series, so he's gonna be twitching.
He's gonna have the bubbles. He's gonna have the butterflies.
So he's gonna have the itchies. So I'm all, like I said, 5 or 6 games at the most. This should go. But
I think if you had to ask me how the first game would go, I think if we start out the game on a run, I think it's gonna avalanche for them. But if they weather a storm, they come out the first quarter tied or up, then we might have a dogfight coming down the edge. Because the first quarter jitters in a Madison Square Garden playoff game can rattle you, and if you can get through that,
then the Garden's gonna be loud though. This year's different. We have home court advantage this year, so
So I want to name something. I want to name a stretch of the schedule, and y'all tell me what y'all think. Right. So in this month during the regular season, the Knicks played Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston, Toronto, Utah, Phoenix, the Clippers, the Lakers, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Orlando, Indiana. If I asked y'all, do you know what month that is? Do you know what
December.
Month? That's December, right?
Yeah.
That was that rough stretch of games, right? Remember that rough stretch of games the Knicks had?
A ton of road games. Most of them were road games.
Yeah. So if
that's
I
when they lost
y'all,
Mitch also. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's when they lost Mitch and they were trying to find their way. Remember, the defense was so bad. RJ and Quickly was here.
Right.
It's not the same team.
And in that month, the Knicks played against some pretty good defenses in that month. Not all of them, right? Indiana's not, whatever. Brooklyn, whatever it is. But in that month, the Knicks played against some good defensive teams, right? Boston and all of them, right? What would you think their offensive rating was for that month?
The Knicks? Probably was
about like 110, 108, something like that.
Yeah, the offensive, but in terms of rankings, they probably were not even. They probably were like in 15, maybe. They probably were like in the middle of the pack because the defense was so bad.
Yeah. Dre, what do you think? What do you think the offense looked like in that month against a lot of those playoff teams?
Do you want the offensive rating number or?
No, I'm asking, like, what do you think the offense looked like? Not offensive rating, but what the offense looked like.
Well, considering we still had RJ at the time, and he was kind of up and down, and I think I probably bottom third if I had to completely guess at the time.
I'm gonna tell both of you guys whose opinion I very much respect.
I was wrong.
Right, very wrong. Y'all are very wrong, bro.
But our defense wasn't. I'm forgetting.
I got you.
The defense wasn't as elite.
All right, Dre. Let me finish the thing. I got you. Trust me. I got you, big dog. The reason why I asked y'all to come here tonight because I trust y'all opinion. I value y'all opinion. But I want to state this one thing for the record, though, before we get into the defensive part. Against all those defenses and all the ups and downs with the roster and guys in and out of the lineup, in December, the New York Knicks averaged 121.64 points a game in that stretch.
Yep, that's what ripping and running, and that's when and then Quickly and that's when Quickly was part of the second unit. And, Quickly was just getting his buckets.
And then the very next month, right? Very next month, right? The Knicks played Minnesota, and I won't go down the list totally, but I'll just name some teams: Minnesota, Philadelphia, Dallas, Orlando, Denver, Miami, right? In that month, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks averaged 115 points a game in that month, and that's still above what we normally do at 112 point whatever a game, right? The reason why I bring that up is because despite what Nick Nurse will do with his roster, I think the Knicks can play any style against any team in any place, right? Because if you look at the Knicks all season long, the Knicks have gone from the offensive juggernaut to the one-man show, Jalen Brunson one-man show, to total team ball on nights where DiVincenzo and Deuce McBride knocked down 9+ threes in a game together, right? Or the Jalen Brunson assist show featuring Isaiah Hartenstein with the all-star floater at the rim. And so what I'm saying to you, the reason why I brought that up, and I know it seems like I'm all over the place, but I wanted to highlight the fact that the Knicks solely care about winning, right? It's not about one style in particular. It's not about what we're going to impose a certain thing. I think the Knicks have learned to win despite what the game looks like, right? When you run up and down the floor, we don't want to do it. But if you force us to run up and down the floor, we can run up and down the floor with you, right? We want to be in the half court and value every possession, low turnovers. If you grind away like that, we'll play that game too, right? If you have a one-man show out there, we'll try to lock you up defensively. And so ultimately what I want to do is give Tom Thibodeau credit, right? I want to give Tom Thibodeau credit for being adaptable, moldable, amenable against a lot of these teams that try to force their style of play on us. And we actually adjusted to what they want to do and beat a lot of teams at their own game.
Yep. And then let me add this. Don't forget about Josh Hart with the triple doubles and just adding to those numbers also.
Right. Josh Hart with the triple with the triple doubles, Precious with the 13 and 13 games where you that you didn't expect. The Hartenstein floater in the paint. The Knicks traditionally not a position that gets scoring from center. Played Denver and Hartenstein got 20 points and 8 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? So depending on the style of play you want to choose, what I'm saying to Knicks fans is don't be nervous about the stuff that you see on Twitter and Instagram and on YouTube about if a team does such and such, the Knicks are going to be such and such. All year long, the Knicks have been showing you that regardless of what we can get adjusted team style of play.
You're an amoeba. That's
right.
what you turn into.
Right.
And I was going to say, Freezy, you mentioned Isaiah Hartenstein getting the 20 and 8. That's because the Nuggets play drop like at almost exclusively when Jokic is on the court. And guess what the Sixers are about to do?
The same thing.
The same, because they have a 7-foot big man that's about 290 pounds.
Yeah, and Freezy, we talked about that the other day with Hart. He had one of his best games against Joel when we beat him by 30 points.
Right.
So I'm expecting this. I'm expecting the same type of performance,
And the other thing I want to mention to everybody too is at times it takes the Knicks long to adjust. Right. At times it takes us a while to adjust in game. Say where a team gets out to a 15-point lead and it may be a guy going off. But by the time the fourth quarter gets here, we generally have like a 4-point lead or something like that going into the fourth quarter. I think that's the other thing too. Don't underestimate the Knicks' ability to come back in a game that they might be down by a handful of scores.
That's why OG's here though.
That's why OG is here.
That water's running, cut it off.
Shut off the water.
Cut the water off.
Yeah. Dre, you were gonna make a point about the defense though.
I'm saying the point is like in terms of what the drop defense, or are you talking about the Knicks at that time?
Right.
The Knicks defensively, we were still figuring out our identity, and we were still going through changes in terms of guys getting hurt. And remember, in that period of time, I believe Dante was just starting to start at that point. So like there was limited chemistry as far as his defense. And remember, we didn't have OG, so we were living and dying with a lot of RJ's shortcomings defensively. And then we lost our initial starting center at the beginning of that month. So like our offensive went up, but our defense also went up at the same time.
Right.
Tom Thibodeau has done a hell of a coaching job this year. He's had like three or four He's had like 4 basketball teams this year, 4 different ones.
Yep.
And remember, and to be fair, the game we lost against the Sixers, we dropped 73 points. We were in the process of like implementing a different style of offense around Brunson, and then we were undergoing like 3 or 4 injuries at the same time.
Yep.
So there was just zero cohesiveness, and then Brunson was already out of rhythm himself.
And that's why I keep saying this is the fourth basketball team really, because nobody has really seen this team. Think about it in the East. The only team that has seen this team are in the playoffs really are the Celtics and Milwaukee.
Right.
Which are going to be but Indiana has never seen this team. So
they saw the junky.
Yeah,
we're just gonna out rebound you.
Yeah,
and
think about this.
Team.
They caught the Knicks when Randall and OG were gone, and they caught us.
And we still
also, I mean, they caught us right in the middle of the trade when we lost RJ in them. So they've never seen us. So this is why people talking about it's the way they are. It's very strange.
That was the Precious Achua game that we caught them.
Yeah.
And quiet as kept, Freezy. I don't know if Tibbs is going to use Precious as much as we might think, but quiet as kept, he guards Embiid really well historically.
Yep.
And OG has given him some problems too. So this is gonna be very interesting. This is gonna be very interesting.
Very.
I'm excited for real.
Yeah, I'm jotting down a thing just to bring up also. I should have did this beforehand, but I didn't think about it until Dre said something. Right. But there are, as I look back at the schedule, gents, as I look back at the schedule, this is definitely going to be a point that we're going to talk about during the summertime. I think everybody's going to talk about these things during the summer. As I look back at some of the losses. Anybody remember the Devin? Y'all remember the Devin Booker buzzer beater?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Phoenix
early
game
in the season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a whole. That's it. That's no. Before December, nobody like that team. Like I mean, before like after January is New Year's Day is the cutoff from the. There was 2 teams before, and then it's like 2 teams after.
Yep.
There was RJ being efficient, and there was RJ being inefficient. And we traded him, and then we went on a dominant rampage, and then we lost some guys, and then we're teetering in and out of this Brunson heliocentric offense.
Do y'all remember the Houston Rockets Chippy game that they beat us? Remember the Houston Rockets with Chippy trying to push us around? Remember that?
Yeah, I mean it evens out because you remember the game where Josh Hart basically knocked someone out of bounds, stole the ball, and they got the putback. We should have lost that game.
Oh, and the Pistons game with Dante DiVincenzo and Thomas.
That we played terrible that game.
Yeah, so
we came out with it, but the Quentin Grimes revenge game.
Yep,
the ham sandwich returned.
Ham sandwich returned. Yep. I'm looking at some of the scores, and the reason why I'm doing that in real time because I want to bring up the point that there are some games that we played this year, y'all. Oh, like oh my God, the OKC. Y'all remember the OKC buzzer beater?
Oh yeah, with Deuce on
With
Shea.
Shea hitting the shot over Deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he misses that shot, bro, it's 51 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I bring it up is because I have a list of 10 games, right, that the Knicks lost by 5 points or more. I mean, 5 points or less.
I mean, the last 3 games we lost were all tight games.
Tight games. Yep. And the OKC game,
Spurs game.
the OKC game, I think that was the referee game. You remember Jalen Williams shoved Deuce McBride off of him and dunked at the rim? Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
The same game with Chet where they called blocking foul on what's the name when Chet flew over the top of him or whatever and Tibbs challenged it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is even though this is a 50-win team, and even though, like she said, this is a team that is 4 different versions of itself, this team is still a team that proved that it could hang with the big dogs despite all the morphing throughout the season. But now where we are with where we know what this team is gonna be, I honestly, y'all, I don't see Philadelphia winning the game against us. Honestly, it's gonna take in my opinion, which is not expert, by the way. It's not. I don't have an expert opinion.
But you've
But
seen
in
a lot
order
of Knicks basketball.
yeah, a lot of pain, bro. A lot of pain. But in order for Philly to beat us, they are going to have 40 games from Maxey and Embiid, right? They're going to have Herculean efforts from Embiid and Maxey on a nightly basis because the Knicks have a bucket getter and as good as Jalen Brunson is offensively, my belief is OG Anunoby is that good defensively, right? That's my opinion. I'm not asking anybody to share it with me and all of that. So I'm not trying to create a narrative, but Jalen Brunson is an excellent scorer. I think OG Anunoby is that good of a defender.
They mirror each other, freely. They legitimately mirror each other in terms of
the compliment, right?
yeah. They're both top 5 at what they're best at.
Right.
Brunson is a top 5 scorer in the league. OG is a top 5 defender in the league, and their
Right.
skill sets complement each other on the opposite ends of the court.
And
Like Brunson can create offense for OG. OG can create and pick up the slack for whatever Brunson lacks physically on defense.
Right. I agree. I agree with you. And so my thing is this. On either side of the floor, when the series starts, I think we're going to have a top 5 guy at all times in this series. And just the mere fact that OG is on the floor to disrupt what their role players do, he can guard one of their primary guys, whether it's Oubre or Harris, or he can even guard Paul Reed, who will slide to the corner and hit threes if you allow him to.
I promise you're going to see him on Maxey too.
Yeah, he may be on. My only thing with the Maxey thing, Dre, and you already know how I feel about this. If he's guarding Maxey and they pull Hartenstein away from the rim, our weak side guy, more than likely, rim protector is going to be Josh Hart.
That's why I think they're just going to put Dante and Deuce McBride on him for the majority of the series, unless he starts to get hot from the perimeter. Then they'll try to temper him and slow him down. But for the most part, I think they're going to put Deuce and Dante and then funnel him into help from whoever it may be in a team defensive concept.
And hopefully they make him go left.
Hopefully.
I believe also, like, in terms of, because OG's a wing, whoever is going to be their third scorer, whoever may get hot if Oubre comes out, hits a couple shots, Tobias Harris makes a couple shots, OG's going to go over there and make sure he shuts down their third scorer.
Shut off the water.
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
like you said, they need 40-40. Like they need both of them to drop 40.
And
Yeah,
that's still only 80 points, bro.
yeah. I'm
Yeah, that
saying
still might
if
not
that's
be
if
enough.
that's the case, like they're relying on having that third score because to be honest, before the injury, Maxey and Embiid were the highest scoring tandem in the NBA.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a fact.
But
Right.
and with that, they drew enough gravity to get the secondary points from their role players. That's why I'm just like we need a means to stay home at times and like Embiid is so talented even at 60, 70, 80%, he can still get you an efficient 25 to 30. But in
Yep.
that process, if he's getting that 25 to 30, you don't need Tobias Harris hitting three threes. You don't need Oubre feeling confident getting 17, 18 points. You don't need Buddy Hield hitting 4 or 5 threes. So it's gonna be us playing our same defense and being in our shell, playing smart help defense and getting back to your man and cutting off the water from the perimeter because while you said like even if they're dominant getting 40 apiece, it's only 80 points.
Right. 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 And so with that said, I'm assuming both of you gents, um, uh, I'm assuming the three of us are like minded, and that we feel like the Knicks will win this series.
Correct. We're gonna win it in Philly too. As the Villanova boys, they're gonna win the Villanova boys. They're gonna win it in Game 6.
I saw something funny. It was like,
Dre is quiet. Dre, you not confident that the Knicks will win? I'm
no, no,
asking.
no, 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 no. I'm confident that we're gonna win the series. I feel like I think we need to give Nick Nurse some credit. He is a very good coach, and I think it's gonna be a cat and mouse game. And Embiid, even if injured, can win a game by himself. So
Right.
I'm not gonna completely say it's gonna be a sweep, but I think we're the favorites to win it, and maybe 5 to 6 games. But I'm not gonna say sweep. Sweep is like sweeping in the NBA is very difficult.
Yeah, because the NBA wants you to play every series to be 7 games for TV revenue. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So with that said, I'll just go Knicks in 7 just to satisfy everybody.
That's
Knicks in 7.
7. Ooh,
I don't
I
want a
don't think
game.
it'll take 7 games.
I
No,
don't
no,
want
no,
a
no, no.
Game 7 at the Garden with that guy. I don't.
Yeah,
Just.
I know. I'm saying, listen, I'm saying Knicks in 3.5. You know how I feel about it. I'm saying
And
we'll
then
have a 20-point
Nixon
lead.
opening tip.
Yeah, I'm saying we'll have a huge lead in game 4, and the Sixers a fold up shot, bro.
I'm,
That's what
I'm,
I'm saying.
I'm anticipating a lot of Knicks fans to be in Philly.
Right.
I saw something that was funny, and it was, it was funny. It was like Brunson has hung up more banners in that arena than Joel Embiid has,
Oh wow, wow,
which
wow,
is actually a fact.
wow. That's crazy, right?
That is actually
Yeah,
a snap
it
that they
is.
have Villanova banners in that arena.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in that shopping mall of an arena. You know,
Mm-hmm.
It's a shopping mall. They selling. They got like a Ford F-150 somewhere in there on
yeah,
display.
on display and some of those massage chairs. Yeah,
Mm.
and a water fountain.
You can
Yeah,
get your nails done in
Mm.
there.
yeah, and it smelled like it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question real quick. So assuming that the Knicks win this series, who do you think is gonna win the series in the opposite bracket?
Uh,
Milwaukee and Indiana.
oh, well, to be absolutely honest, if Embiid is not there, Milwaukee is not prepared to guard that Pacers team in transition the way they want to run up and down. That team is just too old, and they need the athletes for that. And they just, I mean, if Giannis is not there, they don't have the athletes for it. It's like on paper and during the season, they've been a bad matchup for them. And that was before they got Pascal.
You know what? I'm gonna say that losing Drew Holiday has actually exposed the whole Milwaukee Bucks for who the best defensive player on that team was. So they're gonna get smoked.
Oh,
Even they,
smoked.
Yeah, they're gonna get smoked. It's probably gonna go 6 games, but Dame is gonna have to pull 2 of those out by himself. Like it's gonna be.
I don't think Dame has that extra gear anymore.
Yeah, he might not because I told this to Freezy earlier that you get to that 34, you get in that 34, 35 range.
Yeah, that window, yeah.
Yeah, like that's when the doors close. You can see we saw it the other day with Steph, who's 36 years old.
Dude start pulling hamstrings and groin start, you know.
That your jumper ain't the same because you ain't got as much legs in it. And Dame actually jumped real high on his jumper.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler with him going out the other day. Like I said, you're going to see it with the Clippers in a minute.
Yeah, I found out within week 1 that Brunson is better than Dame. Week 1 of the season.
Yeah.
That Brunson is better than Dame. And he's efficiency wise, he's been one of the least efficient guards in the NBA. Dame
this is the worst season of his career. I mean, second worst
since his rookie year.
Yeah, probably since rookie. Yep.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like out of sort, and he's also saying like, there's things at play that's off the court that's kind of been distracting him because he has like a divorce and his kids are in Portland and he's in Milwaukee and you can't really see him. It's like his home life isn't too great right now.
Right.
But I was gonna respond to someone in the chat, virtual also.
Wait a minute, hey Dre, let me just before we do the chat thing, man, because
okay,
I just wanted to stay on a certain path, just real quick. But what was the thing you said about Dame?
Well, me, I said a lot of things about Dame.
No, the last part you said some personal stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going through some off the court personal stuff, and he said it.
Hey,
no disrespect to Dre's point, bro, but
I have a question though. I have a question though. When you playing basketball, the basketball court was supposed to be a sanctuary where you were supposed to forget all those things.
Right.
I think it might be an excuse for being washed, personally. Right.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Bro, like how we and no disrespect for where Dre coming from, but it's amazing how the national media crafts narratives for players that they like versus players that they dislike.
They always say that the court is part of their piece. Hold on, Freezy. That's something that Dame said today. He said it himself.
I heard him. I heard it. I saw it. Yeah, man. I didn't see it today. I heard it today, Friday. I think I heard it maybe like Tuesday.
Yeah, he had a press conference today explaining because like people were saying Dame wasn't happy in Milwaukee, and he's like, for the people that do know, like there's things outside of the world of basketball that's going on, and that he basically alluded to his divorce.
But again, I'm gonna say it though. The basketball court is supposed to be their piece, where they're supposed to forget all that and play and do their thing.
I mean, Dame got about 60 million reasons to play real good. So
yeah, exactly.
Where's that crying baby meme at? Every time I hear Dame cry, because here's the thing: when those lawyers dudes were yelling those the stuff at Randall's wife, and Randall gave them the thumbs down, bro. Ain't nobody care, bro. They said cats was on Randall's neck because they saw Randall give the fans the thumbs down, bro. Cats legit was roasting Randall. Had no idea why that man did that, right? But then Dame getting whatever $1 million a year in Milwaukee looks like a wash. He out here looking like Mo Cheeks when we got him. He out here looking like Doc Rivers when we got Doc Rivers, right? He out here looking like Derek Harper when the veteran point guard is the finishing piece to a title contender. Bro,
you saying he looking like Penny Hardaway, Steve Francis?
Yeah, he looking like every other 33-year-old point guard that played somewhere for 1 million years and coming to a team to be the missing piece on a championship team and it don't work. And then now all of a sudden he like, yo, I can't concentrate. Nah, bro, I don't want to hear that shit. Bro, come on, bro. Where that crying baby meme at, bro? Where that crying baby meme at? Yo, somebody in the chat hit that crying baby meme, bro. Because when it's when the Knicks go through these things, bro. When Carmelo was going through the thing with Lala, y'all remember that?
Yeah.
When Carmelo was going through the thing with Lala, dudes was on the court talking about Honey Nut Cheerios, bro. Right? Legit against Melo, right? And Knicks fans was like, no, you got to play ball, son. You know what I'm saying? You got to. Nah, man. Hey, Dre, no disrespect to you because I heard it in a separate place too, right? Yeah, so I heard it in a separate place, right? Like, nah, bro, what I'm saying is what's good for the goose is good for the gander, bro. If we out here booing Randall mad disrespectfully for stuff he got personally going on in the arena, then Dame don't get no excuse from us, bro.
And guess what? When you want to win the championship, you're going to be on a team where the noise is loud anyway. So this is the stuff you're going to have to go through anyway.
I was gonna say, like, I've never seen these excuses for someone that's supposedly in the top 75 NBA.
Imagine if he was in Miami going through this, or imagine if he was here going through that.
Excuses,
bro. That's what I'm saying.
Nah.
It's what I'm saying. So ultimately, what do y'all stand on the Indiana Bucks series? Are y'all?
If I'll say this, if Tyrese Halliburton can play through playoff physicality, the Pacers are a terrible matchup for the Bucks. And like they've been a bad matchup from the beginning of the season, and the Bucks lost all their athleticism. And Giannis, I don't know how they can play in a track meet with all those old guys that don't want to run up and down. Like, how old is Brook Lopez, really?
That's the truth.
36?
You know what? The Bucks are just old.
35.
The Bucks are just old in it's time. And Giannis like the youngest guy on the team besides like Bo Champ and all those guys.
He's the youngest prominent rotation player. I think him and Bobby Portis are the same age.
Yeah, so
I think their shooting guard is what 28, I think.
And they sent him to the bench. Malik Beasley.
Beasley, yeah.
They sent him to the bench for Pat Beverly, by the way.
And it's not even Pat. The only reason they benched him because Dame defense is so trash, bro.
Yeah.
You know what? The Bucks deserve to get what they got for what they did to the coach. The coach was not the problem. They just didn't like what was going on. And they brought in another coach for Doc, and it's just gotten worse.
It got worse with Doc.
So just, you know what?
And I'll double down on that, Chief, and ask you, which coach they fired did they do him dirty?
You know what I'm saying? You're right.
How you gonna fire Budenholzer after that man brother died?
He wasn't even thinking about basketball at that point.
Right.
They did both of
but that's the panic move trying to appease an MVP in his prime.
Yeah, so
that wouldn't happen in Miami.
And actually that might be the karma on the reason why he's actually hurt.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
Like so,
So I have a feeling y'all are picking Indiana.
I have Indiana in 6.
Yeah, I didn't want to, but I think I'm gonna take the Pacers. I'm gonna take the Pacers in 6.
I'm gonna say this, and hit me out on this, and then we'll discuss it after I kind of blow up y'all bracket. I'm picking the Bucks in this series against Indiana.
I actually wanted to pick the Bucks, but I'm gonna go with the Pacers.
And here's the reason why. Because we consider Giannis like the NBA dream, right? A mid lottery pick. You develop him. Everything goes right. He wins the MVP and brings the championship to your city. Like, have you had faith in the draft?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, Dre. Didn't Milwaukee lose in the first round of playoffs last year?
Yeah. Wow.
And if they lose in the first round of the playoffs this year, you can't blame Drew Holiday, bro. Mm-hmm. Right? You can't blame Drew Holiday not scoring. Right? If they lose in the first round of the playoffs 2 years in a row, you can't blame Budenholzer because Budenholzer wasn't the coach for this year, losing in the first round of the playoffs.
And that's why I said losing Drew Holiday exposed Giannis.
It exposed the show their entire defense because they run a ton of drop. And if you don't have guys that can be at the point of attack, fighting over screens and maneuvering around screens and stop the ball and handle it,
Right.
that destroys the entire point of playing drop defense.
And Malik Beasley's defense is not the same as Drew Holiday's defense.
Not even on his best day,
Right.
compared to Drew Holiday's worst days. It's just it's just not gonna. It's not feasible, and they put him in a role that's just not tenable or realistic for him to thrive in. Like it's just not realistic. Like Malik Beasley is a shooter and can play defense in a pinch, but he's not a point of attack defender.
He used to be an athlete, right? He's
still pretty athletic, but
because he's from that Florida State tree, right?
I believe so.
Right. So athletic defender, sharpen his skills in the NBA, become something better than you anticipated. That's what Florida State generally does. Like they'll give you an athlete with upside in a few different areas, but it's up to the team to develop whatever that area is.
You said Terrence Mann?
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah.
Devin Vassell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but my thing is this. I think Milwaukee understands. I think that roster understands. I think Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis understand that if they lose in the first round of the playoffs again, a couple of those dudes going to be playing for the Shanghai Sharks next year. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring that team back a third time in a row with the risk of losing a third time in a row in the first round and here's the point that I was making, Chief. If they lose in the first round of the playoffs this year and they bring that roster back next year with a East that is vastly improved, now you got the Knicks that are contenders, you have the Magic that are contenders, Indiana is whatever, that Boston's going to be good, right? You're not even guaranteed for that Milwaukee team to be a top 5 seed. Nope. And who's going to be afraid of them after they lost? See, the luster is going. If you lose in the first round of the playoffs 2 years in a row, there is no, why do I fear Giannis? Why do I fear the deer?
Like, and these older players are not going to get better. They're getting older.
Yeah, the Bucks are just old. This is a young. It's a middle-aged league. It's not a young man league. It's a middle-aged league. And when I mean middle-aged, I mean from 26 to about 33. That's what I mean.
Right.
Those are the guys. Those are the guys, and that's the age group that wins basketball and wins championships.
Yeah.
If you win before that, you stole something. If you win after that, you had a great team
or 2 young stars.
Mm-hmm.
If you win after 35, you got two
studs in their prime and then a bunch of role players.
You got Magic and Worthy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you basically had a Bucks from 2-3 years ago.
And for that reason, I'm saying the Bucks can't afford. I think their mortality is on the line, and I think they know it.
Yeah, they're kind of in the state with the Golden State Warriors. They have
the twilight is very evident. You can see it.
Because I heard all y'all points, and I agree with you. The only thing I think we may have left out is the Bucks' desperation. Because if they lose in the first round of the playoffs again, bro, now you questioning Giannis again. Is he really a winner? Was that
I have another question. Are they going to fire the coach again?
I was going to say it's funny though. Yeah, like
I was going to answer that, but you.
Well, what did he say? Say it again.
I said they're going to fire the coach again.
They'd be paying 3 different coaches.
Yep.
Yeah, that's rich people.
They'll be paying 4 different. Don't forget the new coach.
Yeah, that's rich people problem.
Yeah.
I was gonna say not the funny part, but the thing about it is like when they have their starting lineup whole, I think it's like a top 3 lineup in the NBA, but the starting lineup is so old that you're never really gonna see them all together at the same time.
Right.
That's what happens. You get old, and that's the thing. The injuries in the games add up. See, what they don't tell you is that really, it's the playoff games that grind you down. It's not the regular season. The regular season is cool, but the it's the playoff games that finish you, because those are the ones that are the most fit. That's the real NBA.
Ooh.
It's when does training camp start? In
In
September,
October, yes,
September.
late September, early October.
going
Yeah,
from September into
preseason is October, right?
Hmm.
yeah, so going
And
from
then
September's
yeah.
all the way back into deep May, runs over and over
It's
on
kind of
35, 36-year-old legs.
Hmm.
yeah, Dre, it's kind of like the reason why I brought up on the Chop It Up podcast we did a few Sundays ago. It's the reason why I brought up the Michael Jordan 6-0 in the championships thing don't mean nothing to me, right? It's because Jordan won 6 championships during the expansion era, where he played the Knicks one night, played 40 minutes, but the next night he was in Minnesota against an expansion team,
It was a
right?
watered down league.
Well, yeah, don't watered down rosters, or sometimes you would legit get to watch. Think about this: you
You
on a
ran
road
into the
trip.
Raptors, Freezy.
Not only that, don't forget he took
Yeah,
18. Don't forget he got
and
to 18 months off.
yeah, and he took 18 months off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got 18 months off for the grind.
yeah, and so that's the but not to make it about Michael Jordan. It's about what I'm saying is about the regular season. See, you don't play the Knicks every night, right? You don't play the Celtics every night. Some nights you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, right? And I'm gonna throw a jab at We Talk Mavs, but some nights you're in Dallas, Texas. You get a layup. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing a jab at We Talk Mavs. Those my guys, man. But yeah, man, it's this thing. Like even in the '90s when Jordan was winning all those rings, bro, the Washington Bullets were terrible, right? The Sixers of the '90s were terrible,
Yep.
right? Charlotte was all right, but they wasn't. Atlanta was okay. Miami was all right, bro. When you go on that road trip, when you leave Manhattan, and then you go Philly, DC, Charlotte, Atlanta, Orlando. Well, Orlando was good. Orlando was good in the '90s, right?
Mm.
For a stretch. But y'all see what I mean by like some night you have a night off by default. Right?
The Mavs were really bad. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
they were. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I'm bringing that up to say this, like to the point that we were making about the teams that win a lot of games. I think the Knicks were in a situation where their team wasn't good enough to just take anybody for granted, whereas Milwaukee had the Greek Freak where just him alone he could win games for them. Right. But ultimately what I'm gonna pick is New York versus Milwaukee in the second round of the playoffs. And y'all are going New York and Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am.
Okay. In that Indiana series, who do you favor, Knicks versus Indiana, and why?
Oh
The
man.
Knicks.
Yeah, we're gonna win that series.
The
Just
Knicks,
on
off of
age and
physical.
experience. Yeah, and experience with the Knicks will be the older team, even though they have Siakam who has championship, but everybody else around them all young boys. They ain't ready yet.
Right. So what you think, Dre?
I think the Knicks would beat the Pacers in the series. I think there's a level of experience that they haven't been through, and I don't think they can withstand the level of physicality and us slowing the pace down intentionally. Like the Pacers thrive in transition. Asking Pascal and Halliburton to create offense for themselves in a half court game, it doesn't really translate to me.
I
With the
think that
physicality in the
series.
playoff.
I think that series might be the sweep that you're talking about.
I don't know if it'll be a sweep, but I think it'll be an easier matchup than the Sixers.
Yeah,
Personally.
because I think the Knicks will be physical and play out basketball, and the Pacers won't like that, and they're just gonna fold like sheets, fold them up like sheets.
Freezer, you afraid of Miles Turner in the paint?
No.
He shoots threes.
No,
Exactly.
I'm not
I mean,
picking. I'm not picking Indiana because I think that veteran Milwaukee team just has their more talent, bro. if that Milwaukee team loses, bro, you got to blow the whole thing up. You got to. You don't want to be Golden State hanging on to Clay and Draymond, right? You don't want to be in that situation, and that's what they're doing with Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. That's my thing. You can't validate holding on to Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez for another season of losing in the first round, being upset in the first round of the playoffs.
Yep, time to be role players off the bench.
Yeah,
somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the reason why I say Milwaukee's pride will get them to the second round.
Hey, AIDS don't really care about, pride, man. So
yeah,
age is unkind.
Yeah, man.
So I maybe they have a level of desperation, but they haven't shown that desperation the entire year. So I don't know if they're going to be able to muster it up now without their best player.
So you thinking they're going to lose in the first round 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with it.
I will say this though, Freezy. If we play the Bucks in the second round, we will definitely see Giannis because he'll be off a month by then.
Yeah. Even with that, I think the last couple of times that we saw Giannis, I think we beat them. I think we beat them the last few times we played them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the very last time we played them, I think OG Anunoby played.
Yeah, he finished.
And Milwaukee legit looked. They legit looked. What's the word where you look desperate but you want to give up at the same time? They look. I'm just gonna say washed.
Destitute.
Yes, that's what they look like against us. You remember when Giannis Giannis put the ball on the floor and he drove the lane and was about to throw up the ball off the backboard and OG Anunoby swatted it out of bounds and he looked at OG like, "Where did you come from?"
Mm-hmm.
That look on his face right there is the reason why I think the Knicks will sweep the Bucks in the second round.
Or how about when Giannis tried to bully him and he stripped him?
And he stripped, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how about the reason why Adrian Griffin is fired? People don't know the reason why Adrian Griffin got fired for two reasons. For one, the word on the street is that he a dirtbag for what he was doing to his wife. Like his wife who used to post stuff on Twitter about the stuff between them, allegedly. And the second thing is the Knicks played the Bucks and lost, but the Knicks, Jalen Brunson exploited a weakness in their defense. They got dribble penetration and forced Brook Lopez to step up out of drop, and teams ever since then were just killing them at the rim, right? Just killing them at the rim. Because as much as Giannis is a weak side shot blocker, he's also their best scorer, right? So is he gonna risk picking up foul number 2 or 3 in the first half? Is he gonna risk picking up foul number 3 and 4 in the third quarter over a layup, right? And then when he sags back, it gives 3-point shooting teams carte blanche to shoot them out of the gym. Right.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that was a Knicks thing because coming into the year, people were saying like
that's a Drew Holiday thing.
Well, yeah, I was going to say coming into the year, their scheme was so much heavy drop, and they needed a guy that can contain with the screen at the point of attack, and they lost that with Drew. And everyone knew their point of attack and perimeter defense was going to be garbage in terms of containing elite point guard play.
Right. Remember when the surprise season we had with Reggie Bullock and Randall? We made in the Remember how Reggie Bullock used to cover for Randall?
Yeah.
That's what Drew Holiday was doing for the whole defense.
That's a great point too, by the way.
And that's why they're all out of sorts because now they have to do everything.
The captain of their defense is gone.
Yeah, and so now they don't have that captain anymore, and nobody can function because he was the one that was doing everything.
Put everyone in place.
And
Freezy, it's legitimately. It's similar to how the OG effect is for our defense.
Right.
like OG slides everybody else back into what they should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when we didn't have him, it's not a mistake that like individually our players don't have like the ability to play the way they need to play. I was gonna say like he puts everybody in their place, and when you don't have it, it just falls apart.
That the young dog or the old one?
Hey, the old dog sleep, bro. It ain't man. Yo, when the earthquakes is going on, man, my dog ain't losing a second of sleep, bro.
Hey.
He woke up, went straight to his bowl for some food.
Mhm.
But I saw a video on the Thinking Basketball channel, the dude that does the breakdowns of offense and defense.
Yeah.
And so he pointed out about how pulling Brook Lopez when and it's to your point, but just hear me out on it. It's to your point about
Ooh.
how Drew Holiday could force the defense to Brook Lopez, who could contest at the rim, right? But when you pull Brook Lopez away from the rim, he's not the same type defender, right? So when guys get by Drew, when guys get or get by Dame and get by Beasley, now you force the defense to step up, and now you have Brook Lopez, who was once in his comfort zone. Now he has to get out on an island, and generally centers that's 280, 290 don't fare well on an island. They just don't.
Yeah.
Right. And so he pointed out some plays from Jalen Brunson when Jalen Brunson rejected a screen. The defense was adjusting to the screen. He rejected the screen. He got a full run at Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez didn't step up, and Jalen Brunson hit like 2 or 3 shots right beneath the free throw line because Brook Lopez wouldn't go out. And then they told him to go out. And what happened is when Giannis rotated, they kicked it to the corner that Giannis evacuated, and we knocked down threes against them.
And even I was gonna say, Freeze, even when Drew were to get beat, he seals up the backside in terms of rotations because he has the defense. He already knows where to be. Yeah. Whereas if Malik Beasley gets beat off the pick, Dame Lillard is not picking up his slack.
Nope. Not rotating.
They're not hedging and rotating where they need to go.
Right.
And it just falls apart. Whereas with Drew Holiday, he's extremely high. Like, there's a reason Drew Holiday is on Team USA.
See, and there's another thing. To see, this is what LeBron was talking about also. The further you go in the playoffs, the higher your IQ, your basketball IQ has to be.
Yeah.
So, because everything is cut off. So now you have to play, and you have to play smarter. So in the playoffs, this is what happens. Like, it's going to expose you. This is where you know who really can play basketball and who can't.
Right.
This is how you know who's nice and who's not nice.
Right. Right.
This is who's smart and who's not.
And what teams communicate well and what teams
Yep.
Right.
This is
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so for that reason, I'm picking the Knicks in 4 over the Bucks. Right. Or the Knicks in 5 over the Pacers. Either way.
You think the Pacers are a tougher matchup for us than the Bucks?
No, I don't.
I would say yes on just their style of play because they can score.
Okay, I could see that.
I mean, they both can score when they're healthy, though.
Yeah.
But the Bucks are not. But the Bucks are old. The Bucks are old and not healthy, though.
True, but I'm saying like the only person that's not healthy out of their starting lineup is Giannis.
Right.
But when Giannis is there, and Middleton
but see, Middleton's not really healthy.
Nah.
He's up and down. But even in the minutes that he's playing with that team, their starting lineup has like a top 3 net rating in the entire NBA.
Yeah.
It's just they're not always together, and even if they're not always together, like for injury or again part-time Chris Middleton, it fits because even though they're not a great defensive team, they become an offensive powerhouse.
Right.
when they're all together. So it kind of overrides the fact that they're very mediocre defensively. But when they're missing a part and their offense is not humming at this top 5 rate, then it just looks really bad when their defense can't pick up the slack. It's kind of like when Drew was there, they may have a top 5 offense, but if the offense is sputtering, that defense is always a constant.
And that's what happened. That's why I keep constantly going back to Drew Holiday, because he was the defensive. He's the defensive specialist.
Yeah.
So it's all out of sorts.
Right. And they have Jay Crowder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's washed.
Yeah, bro. They are so old, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
And they do, ironically, they do have athletes. They just don't play them. Their athletes are too young right now.
Andre Jackson.
Yeah, they have athletes in the oven.
Yep.
Right. So they'll be ready one day. They're just not ready right now. But I do like the fact that they can go to that lineup of Portis and Middleton at the 4 and can get a little athletic on the wing. Right. Or do the 3-guard thing. I think
they just don't trust Andre Jackson and Beauchamp.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not ready yet. Both of them are Beauchamp is gonna be good, but they're
that team, Freezy, that team is prehistoric. They got Danilo Gallinari on that team.
Yep.
Patrick Beverly's like 35.
Yep, I know.
Yeah, they're old,
bro. That's why I was reiterating the fact that this is it. If they lose in the first round, bro, it's over. That's the reason why I picked them, because I don't think they want to go out like that. And I know that has nothing to do with basketball, right? But I think it's some type of pride, bro. You don't want to go out like this. You know what I'm saying? So,
but guess what? You may not have a choice. I don't think the Golden State didn't want to go out like that, but you know what? The Kings was like, get up out of here.
You mean like Larry Holmes and Mike Tyson?
Yeah, like you got to go.
Yeah, like Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali. Yeah, like Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. Yeah, champ. Yeah, you're an older veteran champ. Yeah, young whole time.
I respect you, but what has to be done needs to be done.
Yeah, but you in my way to the throne. So
you food, and it's time to eat. Get out sit at the table.
So I got a question for y'all. Sorry about that. So I got a question for y'all. And just to be clear, I respect the Boston Celtics. That's the reason why I didn't even mention them losing to Miami in the first round. Right? But who do you think is going to win out of the Cleveland-Orlando series?
I think Cleveland's going to win. But I think Cleveland's going to win because the Magic's offense disappears sporadically, like at times throughout the season, and I don't believe they have the ability to completely dominate them on the glass like how we did them last year.
Right.
And I think the reason why we kind of destroyed them last year, because on paper they matched up well with us, but we had the physicality advantage, we had the rebounding advantage, and then we had a point guard that could control pace and get whatever you wanted at any given time. And the Magic don't necessarily have elite rebounders, not on the offensive glass, and they don't necessarily have consistent offensive guard play, which is important. So I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be an ugly series. But I think the Cavs are going to win in like 6 based off of having slightly more experience, and their offense won't completely go in the tank. Even though Orlando has a very elite defense, but for all the elite defense that Orlando has, their offense is it's a train wreck at times. Just watching them play out there. I don't think Paolo is just ready on the offensive end to lead a team just yet, and they don't really have a guard that can get them in and out of their sets comfortably, consistently. Like what's his name? Their starting point guard right now really isn't a point guard.
Right.
I'm actually gonna go. Did anybody know what the season series was like?
I'm not sure. I want the Cavs to lose because they went out like suckers.
Yeah, I'm going with Orlando. I'm taking the Magic in this.
I think it's really a toss-up, though.
I think this series is such a rock fight that
It's going to be a lot of ugly basketball.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with Orlando. I think we're gonna see another one of those young teams that's gonna be together for a few years and they're gonna cause some problems. I think we're starting to see a change now in the East.
Right.
This is one of those, even though they're not old enough yet. I think we're starting to see the shift, the changing of the guard a little bit. Even though the Cavs are not really like solidified in that, they haven't been, but this is gonna expose them. They have a lot of problems with that team just between the way Mobley and Allen fit. They need to pick a way to go. So I think I'm gonna go with Orlando, and we're not in another team that's gonna make a change in how they look next year are the Cleveland Cavaliers. You won't see Donovan Mitchell and you won't see Jared Allen there next year. They're gonna shift and get younger, and they'll build a team through Garland and Mobley and go from there.
So I'm the tiebreaker, right? I'm gonna stay. So I'm the tiebreaker, and I hate to do it, but I'm with Chief on this one. And the reason why I hate to do it because Dre pointed out some excellent points.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is with if it's a rock fight, if it's a mix it up, if it's a battle royal, who is more built for a rock fight where it calls for you being tough than Orlando over Cleveland? Because if we start saying Cleveland is tough, I'm gonna start laughing. No disrespect, right? Because what it's gonna boil down to is their best defender is gonna have to guard their top lottery pick is going to have to be guarded by Cleveland's top lottery pick, right? And can Evan Mobley shut down, Paolo Banchero? I don't know. But I do know Franz Wagner switching on whatever scorer they have, right? Whatever scorer they have is cooking. Having Franz Wagner switching on them, I think it's going to be an issue. And then when he gets tired, or they may play him together, they may play him and Jonathan Isaac together on the floor. And let's not forget the defense of Jalen Suggs.
Jalen Carter's no slouch either.
Yeah, he is a very good defender. I won't say elite yet because I hadn't seen enough games, right? But I've seen him in person a couple of times, and he is like the Matrix on defense, right? So in a rock fight, and if it's a rock fight, I'm gonna pick Orlando in 7, right? And it basically by default, because I know Donovan Mitchell can get his anytime he wants. But if Darius Garland is being covered by Suggs and Isaac and Franz Wagner, and they have another very good defender too. I can't remember his name. They have another very good defender. Let me see if he.
Houston?
You're not talking
Anthony,
about
Gary. No, Anthony
Gary
Black.
Harris?
No,
Yeah,
Anthony Black.
I don't think Anthony Black's minutes got cut.
Okay.
As of late season, because they've gotten a little bit healthy in the guard play, and they kind of. I don't think they'll trust him in playoff minutes.
Okay.
To be absolutely honest with you.
Okay. All right. Chuma Akiki is a good defender. They have good defenders on the roster.
He's out of the rotation too.
Yeah. Who? Anthony Black or
Anthony Black and Chuma Akiki.
Okay.
Or KK. Remember, they're young dudes, so they're going to be playing. Like their main guys are going to be playing 40 minutes. Man. Like Paolo. Yeah. Paolo's what 20.
Yeah.
Like he's going to play 42, 43.
Yeah, it's the playoffs. These kids going to play.
Yeah. So Dre, you picking Cleveland?
Yeah, I had Cleveland.
Okay, and
I want them to lose though, because they went out like some chumps.
Yeah, they went, bro. They soft, bro.
Not even a player. That's an organizational.
Are they ham sandwich? Are they ham sandwich soft?
Yeah,
that was organizational softness.
Yeah. I just think I think karma is something, bro. Karma is something, right? So say that means if they win, they will play the Boston Celtics in the second round.
Yeah.
Right.
Winner of that series plays the Celtics.
Right.
And they give the Celtics problems if they play in Orlando. Like Orlando gives Celtics
They gave
problems.
them problems earlier in the season, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Early in the season is a little different than now.
Yeah, but that matchup is still tough because they have size. So
it's switchability.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And Paolo's going to get to see Tatum. He's going to get some experience. Like this could be an interesting series. I don't think it'll go 7. It might go 5, but they're going to be rough. It's going to be tough games.
Okay. Dre, that you with that too?
That they'd give the Celtics issues. I missed that last part.
Orlando.
I think they might win a game, but I just don't like. There's a certain level of execution that requires experience to beat a team like that. Like the Celtics are giving you a bunch of guys that are in their physical prime, as well as their mental prime.
Okay.
And you need to have both to beat a team like that that's humming like that. Like Celtics won what, 62 games, 64 games, something like that.
64
games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're necessarily ready. Like they might win a game, but they pose issues physically, but in terms of like execution and mentally, like they don't have the shooting to keep up with them. Straight up, they don't have the half court execution to keep up with the Celtics.
Okay.
So while they might stifle the Celtics offense and hold them to like 112 when they score 120 or something like that. Yeah. They're like the Magic are gonna struggle to crack 100 points.
Yeah, the Celtics should be waiting at the conference finals for whoever comes on the other side of the bracket. Hopefully it's us. They should be waiting there.
So with that said, so Cleveland doesn't have a chance.
No.
Against the Celtics.
Oh no, hell no.
So Cleveland's softness against the Celtics' elite skill is not a chance. There is no chance. All right. So here's where I throw my grenade in the room. Right. I think the Magic beat the Celtics in the second round.
I can't see that.
And the reason why is not what you think. Is the reason why is for the same reason that Chief said they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right. It's because in a playoff series, I believe that with consistent playoff officiating, like if it's playoff officiating and Orlando's playing their style, then who else has more legit wing defenders to guard Tatum and Brown than Orlando? What team in the NBA has more wing defenders, elite wing defenders that can guard Jason Tatum and Brown?
None. But the problem is those wings are going to have to score too.
Right. But so does Boston. So Boston is going to have to score to win also.
Yeah, but remember, Boston's guard play dwarfs the Magic's guard play.
Does it
by a lot?
Really, or is it just
they're smarter, they play better defense, and they shoot better.
That's where that series. That's where that series will be won.
That shooting part that you mentioned, I agree with that. But the basketball IQ part, Jalen Suggs is a dude, bro. If you're now,
he's a dude, but
he's in that.
Let me finish my point.
Go ahead, Freezy. My fault.
My thing is if you're talking about the total backcourt of each team, I think Boston is top heavy, but Orlando is deep. Right? I think we have to consider the Markelle Fultz, and he's not a great NBA player, but he can score. Right? You have to consider Cole Anthony. He's not a great NBA player, but he can score. Right? Anthony Black, I know Dre said he wasn't in the rotation, but if they get to him, he's a lockdown defender. Right? But once you go from Drew Holiday and Derek White to Peyton Pritchard, I think now you're like, you don't know if it's Peyton Pritchard or Malachi Flynn in their backcourt.
But you can go big and put Jaylen Brown at the 2. Like it's not
They're not.
They
They're
have
not. Nah,
they have
you can't tell
options.
me on that. They're not gonna be out. They're not gonna. They're not gonna have more size than Orlando, bro.
They're not gonna have more size than Orlando, but I'm saying big relative for them. They can
If
have
they,
it.
but let me. So if they move Jaylen Brown to the 2, can Franz Wagner still guard him?
I think Jalen
No,
Brown can still cook him. So
Wagner can't guard. He can't
I
guard
think
him.
I think he can guard him, bro.
he can. In
He can
theory, he
guard him. He
can.
can't.
He can guard him, bro.
He can. But Freezy, we gotta
Everybody's guarding him, but he can't
Jalen
stop
like
him.
Freezy. Jalen Brown is still all NBA. Like we gotta.
Yeah, he
We
can
gotta,
guard him.
we gotta,
He can
we
guard
gotta
him,
give
but he's
him
not
some
going to
credit.
stop him.
Right.
We got to
So-
give him some credit for his talent. He's still
So
all
whose
NBA.
whose defense is better in the regular season, Boston or Orlando?
I believe Boston.
Oh,
is.
I think it's
Bo-
Orlando's.
Boston
yeah,
is.
that was a
Boston
trick
is.
question. It's a trick question. It's Boston, but Orlando was second.
Yeah, see, yeah.
So it's not like Boston's going to go in there and put up 130 points on the Washington Wizards. Nah, that's not happening.
Now compare their offenses.
Right. Boston's offense was what, number
No,
4?
they were no.
The one.
The Celtics were top 2 in both offense and defense.
Okay.
They have a historically high net rating. Like I think like top 10 all time net rating.
Yeah, that's only because that's Porzingis. That's the Porzingis factor. Because I think if they
Porzingis and Drew.
Yeah, but if they lose Porzingis, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean, to be absolutely honest with you, Chris, like a lot of teams lose their third best player.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be problems.
Yeah, but I think if they lose Porzingis, then the Knicks would be favored to beat them.
I'd say this: like Porzingis is the glue that makes everything fit for them because he rim protects. And he provides the extra
spacing on the floor for those guys because he can shoot threes. Porzingis is the key for them.
In a series against Orlando or Cleveland, right?
Against anybody. Against anybody. That's just how they're made up. It's part of the reason why they've been successful against the entire league this year.
Yeah, if they had a regular center, they wouldn't be the Celtics that everybody's talking about.
All right. So
that's why
Yeah, bro.
No, that's it. I'm done.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I was gonna say the Boston Celtics don't scare me like that, bro. I saw the officiating save them in the first game of the season when RJ Barrett was our best player. Right? Mm-hmm. When we had RJ Barrett and quickly, and the referees absolutely bailed them out. And Brunson was like 6 for 22, and Randall was like 8 for 1,000, and they were crying to the refs, and the refs bailed them out in Boston Garden in the first game of the season against us, and that was like what Chief said, the first iteration of a roster that flipped over multiple times, right? And in a playoff scenario where the referees can't overtly give you calls, I think Boston's in trouble. And a lot of their offensive rating was because they were setting a record. They were setting records for shooting the 3, right? They legit at one point. I don't know if it was Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo. I wanna give credit to the source, but they mentioned that teams that are gritty with Boston scares them. Like teams that legit have length and athleticism and play tough defense scares Boston and Boston fans.
And I think this is that if the Knicks make it that far and they get to play the Celtics, that's where we're going to miss Randall the most. And we're going to miss him for his physicality on offense.
Okay.
Because of the way he barrels his way to the basket and he can spread the floor, but he would be a tough matchup because who do you put on him?
Right. Well, let me ask this. So both of you guys are giving Boston a second round victory. Probably a sweep, right? A sweep over Orlando.
I want a sweep. I'd give Orlando one game.
I give them 5 games.
Like Orlando has the ingredients, but they don't have the season.
Yeah. I think it doesn't matter. It's going to be 5 games whether it's Cleveland or Orlando.
Okay. So in our Eastern Conference bracket, then we have the Knicks versus the Celtics.
Yep.
Right. Because I picked Orlando. I'll just go Boston because y'all said it. You know what I'm saying? Which one do y'all want to go first predicting the winner of this series, and I'm talking about this year, like this playoff series, right? And this playoff series, Knicks versus Boston, who y'all picking?
Oh, I'll go first. I'll say that we're going losing 6 or 7 games, and it's because we're going to lack the offense that we need. We're going to miss Randall's 20 points, his 9 rebounds, and his 5 assists. We're going to miss that in that series, and we're going to realize that we need one more guy. We don't have enough scoring.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
scoring, not defense, right? It'll be
No.
like Boston's going to beat us 100-88, something like that.
Yeah, because but also I'll also say because of the Porzingis factor, because Hartenstein and Mitchell can't guard him. Like, it won't be those guys. It'll be because we can't score with Randall, and because they can score with Porzingis at the center position. He can spread the floor for them. That will be the difference.
To me, it's going to be a bit of a balance. I think we'll have an easier time getting to 110 points. Because when you're talking about an offense of that caliber, yes, you can have an elite defense, but you're never going to hold them under 100. It's just very hard to do. So it's like who gets like, you can chop 10 points off their averages, but who gets to 110 first? And I think the missing Randall and the added level of dynamicness that he adds to this team, it hurts us. Like, you can try against a lot of teams to manufacture offense and do it in different ways. Like, even like the things that we're doing is similar to like how the Warriors attempt to make an offense around a point guard, but when you're talking about missing, we're not talking about just 20. Like, Randall averages a legit 25. And if we're talking about the Randall that we were playing with in January, like, he averages 25, shooting damn near 55% with 10 boards, 4 or 5 assists, and you're missing that against a defense that just has to hone in on one guy. And how Brunson is great. He's gonna be great for most of the series, but all he has to do is have a hiccup. All he has to do is have a hiccup one time, and that's all. That's all they need over the course of the game. And it's an immense amount of pressure on Brunson. Like, for a single game, Brunson could beat anybody. For even 2 games, 3 games, Brunson could beat anybody. But you need, to be absolutely honest, you need Brunson to average 40 against that team.
And the thing is, I want to add this too. See, the thing is too that they can guard him with 3 different guys. Actually, they can guard him with more guys, and he does get his buckets. But he's gonna deal with Brown. He's gonna deal with Holiday, and he's gonna deal with White. And then they're gonna trap him, and they're gonna wind up wearing Brunson out by that point.
And to be fair,
that's where the lack of scoring, is going to come from, because they don't have the other creator.
And this is where, like, wearing down actually matters. You're talking about a deep playoff run. Brunson is going to have bumps and bruises over 2 series. A month of playoff basketball with high usage, he's going to get some battle scars, and guys are going to just keep.
Is Brunson the only one going to get battle scars, though?
Oh, absolutely not. But Brunson is going to be by far the leader in usage in the entire playoffs. I already know that right now. The only guy that might be close to him is Luka Doncic, and Luka has about 6 inches on him and about 40 to 50 pounds.
Right.
So it's hard. He has Kyrie. So it's hard. It's hard to maintain that level of usage for a month, maybe 5 weeks straight with no slippage. That's why you need Randall. That's why you need Randall.
T, for the record, the same arguments I'm making right now against Boston are the same arguments I was making last year against Milwaukee.
Okay. But the thing that with Milwaukee is they lost because Giannis got hurt.
Yeah.
Giannis is hurt right now.
Giannis, when Giannis got hurt in that series, they were down. They were losing to to Miami already, and he got hurt underneath the rim in a game where they were scrambling to come back.
But
He
that
didn't get hurt in the first quarter.
completely ended any chance of them coming back because in all of the games in the series, they had double-digit leads in all the games that they lost.
Uh-huh.
Remember, they
Yeah.
were up 20 in game one.
Yep.
Right.
Like they had the ingredients to beat that team. Now, for whatever reason, they did lose. But without Giannis or hobble Giannis, that
I'm
was
not
the
making
nail
no
in the
excuses
coffin.
for them. That team is flawed. Last year they were
It was
flawed.
flawed. It
They
was.
were
I'm
up
saying
with
they
a
had
large lead, and then Jimmy Butler snatched their heart out in the third quarter of that. We were live streaming. Remember, we were live streaming, and I was like, it was about what we expected. And then we checked the score, and we saw Miami was like up by 6, and we were like, oh my god! And then Jimmy Butler started hitting these amazing shots. Giannis get hurt underneath the rim.
I'm saying they like the Freezy that Heat team was flawed too as well during the regular season anyway. They were flawed, and they had the pieces to beat them. They didn't, but the nail in the coffin was Giannis getting hurt. Like after that, it was over, completely over. There was nothing they could do. Once that team got confident and got hot, it was over after that.
Nah, bro, Dre, I can't agree with you on it because when you're the number one seed, you're the number one seed for a reason, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Freezy,
Dre, let me finish my point.
Finish.
My point is the reason why you're the number one seed is teams throw all this stuff at you during the regular season, right? And you beat all those teams despite what they throw at you. Right. And so to give Milwaukee an excuse to say that Miami just figured them out at the last minute, it's not fair, bro. Miami was the better team. Miami beat Milwaukee, and Giannis didn't get hurt slipping on a banana peel. He got hurt overexerting himself, trying to come back in a game that they should have been winning by 20.
I'll put it this way, Freezy. If hypothetically speaking, the Nuggets are playing the Lakers and they lose game one, and then the Nuggets have the capability to win every game even after they lose game one. But Jokic gets hurt in game two, and then it becomes downhill after that. Is it an indictment on that team, or is it just Jokic is the best player on the planet? And if you lose him, it's very hard to win when the entire team is built around that person's skill set.
Right. Yeah, it depends on how they lose. Were they in this scenario that you mentioned? It's not the same in Milwaukee. Milwaukee had a lead, right, and they got figured out. Miami exploited them. They couldn't stop it. Giannis was trying to be a superhero, and then he got hurt underneath the rim. It's not the same.
But in reality, the reason why they lost. This is the reason why they lost. Miami was
better than them.
No. Hold on, Freezy. Miami was 27.
They lost because Miami was better.
Can I finish my point?
No, you got Dre. The reason why Milwaukee lost is because Miami was better than them. That's no matter what we say, bro. Miami
here's the flip.
They beat everybody else in their way to the NBA Finals.
But here's the flip from the regular season to the postseason. Miami was 27th in three-point shooting in the regular season. They go to the postseason and start shooting 48% in the first round from three.
Right.
Is that in any way sustainable or realistic? Like historically, that has never happened.
Clearly, it's sustainable, bro. They took that all the way to the NBA Finals.
That has never happened.
Right. And is their 3-point percentage them being NBA Jam or Milwaukee's perimeter defense being trash?
Was our perimeter defense trash?
No, I'm talking about Milwaukee, bro. I'm
saying, but they're shooting.
You got it, big dog. I quit.
I'm saying their shooting was like ridiculous for 3 straight rounds against good defensive teams.
Okay.
That man Jimmy, they were cooking. The Bucks had a good defensive team when Drew Holiday was there, and then they just started killing from 3, legitimately. Okay. One of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league, just carving teams up from 3. Which I mean, to be fair, Freezy, the year before that they were number 1, so maybe that was part of their identity all along, and it just came back to them in the postseason after skipping the whole regular season.
Nah, they had injuries, bro. Tyler Hero was out. Bro,
Tyler Hero was out, but everyone else on Tyler Hero is not the
Duncan
sole
Robinson
reason.
was injured. Duncan Robinson was injured, bro.
Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero are not the sole reasons why they had the number one 3-point shooting team in the year before last year.
Now, but I'm talking. No, I'm talking about I'm not talking about injuries the prior year. I'm talking. Never mind, bro. It's all good, bro.
I think 3-point shooting is part of their identity, and it failed them in the regular season, but it came back to them in the postseason. Like it bounced back to the mean, or it regressed like incredibly to the mean. Like it swung ridiculously because it's hard to go from being the number one 3-point shooting team one year, and then the next year you're 27th, and then in the postseason you start shooting 50% from three. Like it just kind of it reverberated all the way
what I'm
back
saying is,
in a crazy fashion.
championships aren't won on paper, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like reputations don't win you championships, right? When Milwaukee got on the floor with Miami last year, Miami legit put the boot to their back. That's what they did. Miami was not afraid of Milwaukee, and just like I'm saying that then, or was saying that then. So, Chief, I had been saying it since February of 2023 that Milwaukee was going down, and I wanted to get Milwaukee, right? Because I knew Milwaukee was a paper champion. And I'm saying the same thing today, and I've been saying it since about March, that Boston is a paper champion. Right? That's why I picked it. That's why I picked them losing to Orlando in the previous round.
I think Miami winning is the best thing to happen to them.
To who?
For the Celtics this year. I think getting Miami is the best thing to happen to them.
They have a specific play style that'll get you ready, but they don't have the necessary talent to actually challenge you.
That's the thing. They don't have the talent to challenge you, but the fact that they play an execution style and they outwork you, they're going to be. This is the best thing that could happen to Boston.
You talking about? You think it's a tune-up fight? It's a sparring match.
Oh no, this ain't no sparring match. This is
exactly.
This is the best thing that happened to them. This is what's gonna get them going.
Well, I mean that's what I think of sparring. Like I think their play style will get you ready, but their actual talent available to them is not gonna put a fear in Boston. But the way they play, like the intensity and the tactics, from small. But there's just a talent gap that won't be there for them.
But they're still gonna punch you and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. It's gonna be like when Freezy gets into a boxing match and that first hit wakes him up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you spar, you kind of like you punching, but you ain't punching. You know what I'm saying?
You practicing.
Yeah, Miami's not sparring with you. Like Miami's trying to fight you.
Right. What I'm saying is none of that matters, bro. Boston is soft.
It's a Pat Riley team, and the only way I see, like, if Bam winds up just being dirty and hurting somebody, but this is going to be a fight.
Again, the Knicks in Boston or Miami and Boston?
Miami and Boston. That's going to be a fight.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I
think the boys get swept though. Personally, I think they get swept.
I can see. I think that Orlando's going to beat Boston in 7, but since there's since the majority says Boston to beat the Magic, then I'm going to pick the Knicks and versus beating the Celtics in 6 games.
I don't know.
The thought of it is beautiful, but the reality.
Well, we don't know because number one, there's a lot of basketball that get played. Guys can get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. But not just Knicks players can get hurt.
No. That's exactly my point. Like other guys of the Celtics can get hurt, and that'll completely change the dynamic. Like it's a month of high intensity basketball that's going to be played before we even get to that point.
And that's why I said Bam is a dangerous guy. It's a dangerous guy.
Yeah, but y'all didn't let me explain why I think the Knicks are going to beat Boston. You ready to hear the reason why I think the Knicks are going to beat Boston?
Well, I give you. Well, that's an easy one. The number one, we're homers.
Yeah, well, that too, but also the Knicks have a top 5 scorer in the NBA and a top 5 defender in the NBA, right? And I know the easy answer is going to be, well, if you put OG and Anunoby on Tatum, then Jaylen Brown will kill you, right? My thing is, I've never seen Jaylen Brown kill anybody in a high leverage NBA series, right? If in the Eastern Conference Finals, when have you ever in the NBA Finals, when have you seen Jaylen Brown step his game up when Jason Tatum is smothered?
Jaylen Brown played well the first 3 or 4 games in the finals. Actually,
he played well in the finals against
he played so
Golden
well.
State.
He played so well that they had to put Draymond on.
Yeah.
Remember, he played so well that they were questioning Tatum so bad. Like it was like really like they were like it was like.
And then you realize when Tatum went down in the Eastern Conference Finals that he's not built for that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he's matchup dependent.
But the thing is that I want to get to is if Tatum is neutralized, I'm not going to say shut down. I'm going to say neutralized. If he's neutralized by OG and Anunoby, are we really going to step out on that humongous limb, and say Kristaps Porzingis is going to be the reason why this Boston Celtics beat the Knicks?
But that's how you lose series. That's how you win series. It's always the other, like the superstars make the plays when it count, but to get you over the top, it's those guys that get you over the top.
But I'm struggling trying to figure out when I've ever seen Porzingis do it.
You've never seen Porzingis do it, but he's the difference in why they're plus 11 points this year.
In the regular season.
In the regular season when they played Brooklyn and Washington and Charlotte and a whole bunch of other Detroit and a whole bunch of teams. Bro, I watched them play Detroit twice, and I thought Detroit was going to beat them. The Celtics. Well, Detroit almost beat us twice.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but we didn't finish the season 64 and whatever.
True, but the talent level is just different.
I think we're giving the Celtics the reputation advantage as opposed to, and here's the thing also that I want to throw out. Am I really concerned that Tom Thibodeau is going to get outcoached by Joe Mazzulla?
You should be, because he got outcoached by Eric Spoelstra last year.
Right. Both coaches.
Yeah.
Both coaches.
And actually he could get out if in the second round. I wouldn't be surprised if he got outcoached by Rick Carlisle. That would not surprise me.
I'm gonna be rude, though. Like it, my exact, like how I view the Celtics is not based on their record. It's the questions that they pose other teams by their style, how they play. They consistently get easy shots because of their play style.
Right.
They get easy looks at the rim because they have a 7-foot center that spaces the court from 30 feet away, and you actually have to honor it. They get a lot of easy looks because they have 2 high IQ on ball point guards. They're both point guards that they start the game with that play defense at a high clip, at a high level. Like, I'm not viewing them as elite because of their record. I'm viewing them as elite because of the problems they pose in the teams.
Right.
But I will say this though, the last time they played us, that wasn't exposing in those 3 quarters. He cut the water off in the fourth quarter. But those first 3 quarters, they were playing to win that game.
They were playing to win that game.
Yeah, like don't. So they were playing to win that game. Yeah, they were playing to win that game. So there are some things that you could take from that we saw.
Absolutely, there's things that you can take, but
yeah, but in all reality, when Hartenstein, like I said, when Hartenstein and Robinson got a,
we struggle with stretch centers.
Yeah, they struggle.
Yeah, he's probably the best one in the league right now.
That's because we don't. That's because we don't test them. We don't make jump shooting centers play. Oh, we just let them spot up on offense, and we bring the ball to them on defense.
But the thing is, too,
what you saw in the last 25 games is when teams blitz. Like Doris Burke pointed it out, man. Joe Mazzulla was like every time Brunson come across half, send him, right? But what you saw in that case is the Knicks moved the ball so Hartenstein can get to his floater, right? Once we showed Boston, we got them figured out, right? You could see the look of frustration and desperation on their face, like, okay, coach, that was the game plan. What do we do now?
But here's the thing, really, like we could take a lot of great things from that, but I also watched the Bucks like blow them out by 40 and a half in this
The
season.
game before that.
No, not the game before that. Earlier in the season,
Okay.
to the point that they had to bench their players after half. Like they annihilated the Celtics. Like sometimes it's your night.
Right.
Sometimes you have Sometimes you have a guy that is all world dropping 40 in 3 quarters,
Right.
and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. Milwaukee beat them the game before we beat them. Right. Remember that?
Yeah. I wasn't even talking about that game, and they blew them out. But I'm not even talking about that game. I was talking about there was a game somewhere in the middle of the season, and they went to Milwaukee, and the Celtics were down by like 35 at half or something like that, something crazy.
Right.
It was a nationally televised game.
Detroit was blowing them out by 24, and they lost to Boston, beat them in overtime.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna diminish and say like it happens, but I think there are things that we can take from that because they show Brunson virtually any kind of coverage.
Right.
But some nights Brunson will get the same looks and he just won't make it. Like
Right.
we've seen it happen before. And sometimes your night is your night, and sometimes it's not. That night, the scheme and Brunson's execution matched up against them perfectly,
Okay.
and he executed. But not every game won't have the same story.
But what I'm trying to point out too, though, on offense,
Yeah.
on offense, it's not just Jalen Brunson, right? Like if Jalen Brunson scores 40 points, there is still 75 points that the Knicks have from other players, right? It's not like the one man show. I think the Knicks have a balanced enough scoring, and I'm talking about 2 through 8, where you can't focus on one player, even though on certain nights some players are up for 20, and some nights 2 players are up for 20, right? But if you're Boston, you have to defend every inch of the floor for 7 straight games against the Knicks, right? Whereas when you play Boston, Derek White can score. Derek White's a slasher that can knock down threes. Drew Holiday is a big physical guard that can guard 1 through 4, and he's physical getting to the rim. Occasionally, he'll get hot from 3.
No, not occasionally. Freezing. He shoots like 60% from the corners for 3. Like he shoots plus 40. Like he's well above 40%. Like
from
Derek White. Yes, he shoots above 50% from the corners.
But you're talking about Drew Holiday, right?
Yes, I'm talking about Drew Holiday.
Okay.
And Derek White shoots 40% from 3 as well. High volume as well.
Okay.
Like I think we beat them bad, but for who they are, like be absolutely real with you, please. Like them cats can shoot. Them cats can really shoot.
Okay.
Like
yeah, at one point they were shooting 53s a game.
And to the point, like a lot of their shooting is opened up because Porzingis exists.
Right.
Like he's just on the court.
Right.
So you can't cheat. And if you do cheat on the shooters, then that's just an extra lane for Tatum and Brown to get to the paint, get layups.
Okay.
That's when I talk about them, like I'm not talking about what's on the stat sheet or what their record is. I'm talking about the problems they pose other teams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making it a math equation. I'm making it as simple like
it's a matchup issue.
When you do X, Y, and Z, they have counters for a lot of what you want to do. They have a lot of answers for whatever you throw at them. That's how I view them. I don't view them as this like dominant team that's just dominant on paper and like no. When you look at them play, the things that they do and the things that they execute pose problems for other teams in the league, which is why they which is why they're like top 2 in both categories, offense and defense, because they have versatility in a myriad of ways on both ends, and it's hard to counter that. It's hard.
All right.
But
So
winning
you're right,
championships
you're
is
right about
hard.
the Drew Holiday thing. Drew Holiday is off shooting almost 43% from three. I had no idea he was shooting about 43% from three.
If you looked up his corner numbers, Reezy, you'd be shocked.
Right.
Like his splits from the corners alone are ridiculous.
So the Celtics are the better 3-point shooting team than the Knicks.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, we know so. Like it's not even a.
And they just shoot more of them.
Yeah,
they shoot more of them at a higher volume. Even if the percentages are split by hairs, if you go by the volume, it'll show that they're probably better.
Freezy, remember when Kentucky, when Rick Pitino went to Kentucky, when he first got there? Remember how they changed basketball by how many threes they were shooting because they were just out
with Tony Delk and all of them.
Yeah, that's basically that's what he's doing, but it's in the NBA form.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's even 3-point shooting wise. I'll give Boston the advantage on attempts, but not on, because if you're asking me who's the more effective 3-point shooter, which starting point guard is the more effective 3-point shooter, who are you guys gonna take? Y'all gonna take Drew Holiday based on percentage?
No.
Right. And then if I ask you which shooting guard would you take, which 3-point percentage would you take? Would you take Derek White or Dante DiVincenzo? Which 3-point shooter would you prefer?
Dante shoots at a higher volume, but probably a lower percentage.
Yeah. And then if you say which 3-point shooter would you prefer?
But here's the thing. Here's the difference.
Let me finish my point. Okay. Let me finish my point. If I ask you which 3-point shooter would you prefer, Jaylen Brown or OG Anunoby?
Well, in reality, Jaylen Brown. Hold on, in reality, Jaylen Brown takes.
I was trying to just get to a point, bro. That's all.
I know what you're trying to get to.
I was just trying to get to my point.
But it's the same way you would compare Brunson's 3-point shooting to Drew Holiday's, because Jaylen Brown shoots at a high percentage, but he takes them. He has more variance to the tapes.
Jaylen Brown takes about 35%,
but he takes them off the dribble. He takes harder.
It don't matter, bro. It don't matter if he shoot. It don't matter if he shoot them off his back, bro.
It does matter because you were comparing.
At the end of the day, it's 35 is 35. OG Anunoby shoots him at 39. It don't matter. It don't matter if he bounces him off the shot clock, bro. It's 35%.
But Brunson shoots 39 to compare to Drew Holiday's 43.
No,
but there's a difference.
Brunson
there's a difference in how
Brunson 40% 3-point shooter,
and Drew's a 43%.
Right.
But that doesn't mean he's a better one because of the volume and the style of threes that he takes. Like he takes more difficult threes. Like Brunson takes more difficult threes.
But okay, but that's my point. If you're saying the style of threes are different and the amount of threes are different, then why does it work for the Celtics, but it's a detriment for the Knicks?
You were trying to make it beneficial for the Knicks and then try to discount it for the Celtics.
No, I didn't. Nope. I said it was even. No, I did not. I said I don't know, y'all. I think it's even.
I'm telling you, the volume for the threes matter more. Like if it's even percentage wise, but they take more, it helps them more than it would help us.
Right. I'm not disputing that. What I'm trying to dispel is that Boston's 3-point shooting is a runaway. It's not a runaway. It's not like one team has Shaq and the other team has Larry Bird. It's not like that, bro.
Because the difference really, but see, this is where you're getting the difference. You're getting the difference in 3-point shooting from Tatum and Porzingis, where Hardenstein and Robinson don't shoot threes, and Josh Hart he doesn't shoot them enough. Okay. So that's where the difference is. That's where I think where Dre's talking about the volume and the amount of numbers, where you want the percentages on our side and you want those guys shooting, but the difference is still going to be Porzingis and Tatum.
I was going to say
because the two positions of Hart and Hardenstein, they don't shoot them.
This is where it hurts. Where I'll explain it to you. Like there's more pressure on our designated shooters
Yep.
because we need that production from them. They can get shooting from literally anybody on that team. We're not gonna expect that. We're not gonna like a 5 point like a 5 3-pointer night is never gonna come from Josh Hart, but it might come from literally anybody in that Celtics starting lineup, and you would not be surprised.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I'm just looking at it different, bro.
It's hard to compare to this shooting,
Right? Because now we're talking about if we're going to get down to brass tacks, like who's the better 3-point shooter, Deuce McBride or Peyton Pritchard, right? Who's the better 3-point shooter, Sam Hauser or Bogey Bogdanovic, right? It's one of those. It's that to me, I can't see them bombs away shooting threes against the Knicks. And I also can't see their bigs being bombs away from three and then getting the offensive rebounds off of long misses and resetting the shot clock. I just can't see it. I think even if they shoot 40% from three, that means they miss 60% of the time. Right? And I know that sounds petty, right? But even if they make 40% on those 60% of the misses, the Knicks are one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. But when we shoot 40% from three and our misses, we are one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the NBA. And I think these things matter. I don't think it's as easy as the Boston Celtics have the prettiest uniforms. They have a light-skinned star.
I hate
a lot of commercials on TV, and Boston is this, Boston is that, bro. I think when Boston gets on the court with teams that are physical, you are going to see Boston fold. That's who they are. They are the Sacramento Kings of this era.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
That's my opinion, bro. Now, maybe it's because I've seen too much basketball, but there has only been one real, and I don't even want to call them finesse, but there's been only one true jump shooting team that I've ever seen in my life do this, and they have dudes that have been super gritty and super rough, right? With Bogut and Iguodala and Draymond Green, where they make up for their finesse by having some dogs, right? But if you ask me who the dog is for the Boston Celtics,
they don't have one.
They don't have one, bro.
They don't.
I think their gritty players are their point guards, personally. I think Drew is gritty, and I think Derek White is gritty. Both of them are extremely physical.
See, you said gritty, but you didn't say dog.
They both dogs. You know Drew's a dog. And Derek White's a dog, personally. Their play style dictates that to me. They don't have the antics. They're not barking at people, but their play style dictates that to me. Their level of physicality and intensity dictates that. I don't care about that. I don't care about the histrionics and all that other stuff.
Yeah, but the Celtics aren't a physical team.
They are at the point of attack, but outside of that, no. At the point of attack, they are extremely physical at the point of attack. They make life very difficult for guards that are not named Jalen Brunson. They make life difficult. They make life very difficult for point of attack guards. Like when the Cavs play against them, that man, Garland disappears. Trae Young disappears.
But Garland's not a physical player.
That's what I'm saying. That their physicality takes.
But neither is Jarrett Allen and neither is Evan Mobley.
Because to me, Cleveland should give them all types of problems just with those two big guys, and it's not going to happen.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, most guards in the league aren't physical. That's what I'm saying. Most guards can't withstand that level of physicality. Brunson can, because he's built like a fire hydrant, and you can't push him off his spot. But the majority of star guards in this league,
No, and for that reason alone, I'm telling you. For instance, if Jason Tatum is neutralized, what is the Boston Celtics? If Tatum is neutralized, I think the Celtics are the 5th seed in the East. That's my
Jason Tatum had a mediocre season, and he didn't the number one seed.
There's
a reason why Brunson is going to be but Brunson has the chance to be first team All NBA over him because he didn't have an amazing season.
And Brunson passed him in the MVP votes.
Yeah,
Like, should have.
And Dre and Chief, and I'm gonna say this to y'all because I know y'all know basketball, right? I know y'all know basketball. But what I'm gonna say to y'all is I think Jason Tatum had an excellent season. I just think for the first time in a bajillion years, we watched somebody on our team have a better season, right? It's the reason why we're trying to wedge Jalen Brunson in the MVP conversation because Luka had an excellent season, bro. Now we're thinking, is Brunson in that Luka category, top 5 MVP candidate? You know what I'm saying?
He is.
SGA had an excellent season, bro. But we're like, was SGA really that good? Should Jalen Brunson be in the top 5 conversation? And
SGA was that good.
I just with Dre because Dre is a wealth of knowledge, basketball and otherwise, right? But what I'm saying is, I think our perception, I think the way we see stuff is skewed now because instead of looking and admiring guys from a distance because we don't have them, has changed because now we have guys that do just as good or better. And now we look at what dudes have been doing and we're like, yeah, that's all right.
No. I'll say that. No, Tatum had a better season last year than this year, statistically.
He was the first Celtic to score 30 points a game for a season.
Yeah. I was gonna say but the reason why he's probably having a better year, even though his efficiency actually went down, he's had less to do because his team is better.
Yep.
Right. And the team is better. The most important thing is the team is better. Like they won 64 games, right?
He can assimilate into that team like nothing.
Right. They legit lightened the load for him so he can make it to this point. Right. They went out and got that man help. It's the same thing a lot of Knicks fans feel like we should do for Brunson. That's a separate conversation for the summertime, right? But what I'm saying is,
but we did get him help. They got DiVincenzo. They got OG.
Right. And they got him help with addition by subtraction. By removing Grimes, a guard that won't shoot, and inserting a guard that will shoot at will, immediately kept the defense off of Randall and Brunson.
And you got to add RJ to that because he would brick and miss, even though he was getting 18 a game.
Oh, wait a minute! I got a breaking news for RJ Barrett.
Oh, here it goes. I know it's coming.
RJ Barrett at the rim, everybody. RJ Barrett at the rim, everybody. Breaking news. RJ Barrett at the rim, everybody.
Yeah.
Man, that man is tearing that backboard up, bro.
But it's funny though, Frizzy.
But even the open threes that he missed, so it was he just like I keep saying that RJ got himself traded because of what he just couldn't execute, even though he was still effective.
It's funny. Like on the Raptors, his splits are ridiculous. Like he's shooting 55% and like 39 from 3.
Yeah,
I think it was just we did him a favor, and they did us a favor.
Everybody's not built for New York, bro. Everybody.
And I mean, and every offense isn't built for every player. Like we asking him to be a corner 3-point shooter, and he's just not that.
Yeah.
They ask him to be a battering ram, transition player, and he thrives at that. That's just it is what it is.
So just real quick. So y'all have the Celtics beating the Knicks. So who do y'all have the Celtics playing in the finals?
I have the Nuggets as of now, but it might change based on the first couple games in the playoffs. I need to see who looks dominant at the start of the Western playoffs.
I've contemplated this a lot. I've thought about this like for the last couple of days. I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna take the Mavericks.
Boy.
I'm gonna go with the Mavericks. Out the West.
Fire this summer.
Going with the Mavericks out of the West. I'm gonna say the Celtics play the Mavericks.
Okay. So you have Celtics and Mavs. and Dre has Celtics and maybe Nuggets, right?
I think the Nuggets for now, but I need to see. I need to see the first few games in the Western Conference Finals because there's a couple teams that could very well make it up. I think it's more wide open than the West.
Yep.
That people really realize.
Yep. I don't think the Nuggets are that dominant of a team, really.
I don't either. I just think they have the chemistry for right now. But
they're just a good basketball team. So that's how they. And now that they have championship experience, it's kind of like they just hover around and wait for you to make mistakes. You know, they just hanging close. It's just like Joker with the MVP. Like, I don't think he's the MVP because he didn't do anything great, but he's still the best player, right? But he's
the hype train, reputation.
Yeah, because he shouldn't even be. Because if he was who he was, they should be winning 60, 64, 65 games. They shouldn't win. They shouldn't be hovering around everybody else.
Who are you talking about?
The Nuggets.
The Nuggets. Right. I'm gonna say this, and the reason why I put this on the screen is because my NBA Finals matchup is the LA Clippers versus New York Knicks. That's who I'm picking.
Are you really trusting James Harden and Paul George to take you to the finals?
And Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook.
If they're healthy, that sounds like I need to see the first few games, but it's looking like
that's why I was torn. But the fact that I can't trust James Harden and Paul George, I couldn't pick them. I had to go. That's why I had the Mavericks. If the Mavericks get out of the first round, I think they're gonna wind up going to the finals.
If the reason why I picked them is because Tyronn Lue doesn't have to overcoach, right? But if the Clippers find a mismatch, they are going to exploit it to the point where it's like watching the bully beat up kids on the playground. Like say for instance, if Dallas comes out and they guard Harden with Tim Hardaway Jr. or something weird like that.
Oh no, they're gonna get roasted.
Yeah, they're gonna get and I think that is gonna be what goes on in each round. Like if the Clippers get into a situation where they have a mismatch where somebody's guarding Paul George and they can't guard Paul George, you have to let Paul George kill him until Paul George gets tired. Because if you ever double team Paul George, you have a man leaving Kawhi Leonard or James Harden.
Yeah, but the thing is though that
they got to stay healthy and they got to play defense.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And the one thing I know is that when Luka sees the Clippers, he sees red. I think, matter of fact, he sees the Atlanta Hawks when he sees the Clippers.
Right. And so with that said, I'm picking the Clippers because I think the Clippers have the most modern, flexible, adjustable roster that can deal with any type of matchup in the playoffs. And ironically, I didn't pick the Suns because I think the Suns have the opposite. I think the Suns are legit locked into if the mid-range ain't going, they're going to struggle everywhere else. Like if you figure out a defense to slow down Kevin Durant and you already know Devin Booker's personality, when they get to the fourth quarter of it, bro, did you know in game did you know in the NBA Finals Devin Booker went like 5 games without having an assist in the fourth quarter? He went like 5 games without an assist in the fourth quarter.
But they had Chris Paul, and his job was to get buckets. No.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't playing.
But now they have Kevin Durant though, and Bradley Beal.
But see, Kevin Durant's a front runner, so like he's an efficient front runner.
They don't have anybody that has point guard play on that team that can organize guys and get a right shot in the fourth quarter, which is why they fall apart in the fourth quarter. They asking Devin Booker to be a point guard. He's not.
And for that reason, I'm saying, I'm not picking Denver to be a one-time champ, but I'm picking Denver to be a one-time champ. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I think I have Denver as one of those teams. Whoop-de-doo, you won your championship, and you'll be good for the next 12 years. But I can't see Yeah.
They'll be like the 2011 Mavericks.
Yeah. That's who I think they are. That's exactly who I think they are. The 2011 Mavericks. And no disrespect to the style of play, but has Mike Malone shown y'all that he can be a dynastic head coach?
I mean, it's hard to say that until you do it. Like, like that's a hard question. Like, could you say Steve Kerr showed you to be a dynastic coach in 2015?
Yes. Because
Nah.
because he did it in a shorter amount of time. Steve Kerr did it with less attempts.
Breezy. If KD didn't come to that team, there would be no dynasty.
Wait, did they win a championship before that?
They won one, and then
Right.
they lost the next one.
In the finals.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't have.
It's
Yeah, they don't.
losing in the finals doesn't add to your dynasty.
Right.
It just means you lost in the finals.
Right.
If that's the case, then we would say, Jimmy Butler is on the verge of a dynasty if he made another finals.
Or you would say LeBron, or you would say LeBron was the GOAT because you'd have 10 instead of 4.
Yeah. LeBron is a GOAT, but I don't want to get on the Jordan thing, bro. Winning all those expansion league championships. But anyway, all those expansion era championships. But anyway, the point I'm saying about Mike Malone is Mike Malone had numerous chances to win championships. He had numerous chances. It's like Budenholzer. Is Budenholzer a championship level coach? Probably not. Is Frank Vogel a championship level coach? Yeah, he won one. Right, he won one, but is he that? I don't know.
It's the right place at the right time. It's all about timing.
Yeah. Mike Brown. I mean, yo, you can eat. I was almost going to throw Eric Spoelstra in there, but now I ain't gonna do that.
Spo's a great coach. Like
Spo is
I think Spo could beat you with your own talent. Like if you switch sides.
Yeah. Like in a chess game, you just change seats. Yes, but I think Spo can. Yeah. But the reason why I say that about Mike Malone in Denver is because it seems like they reinvented the wheel, but did they? Or did they have the best player at the time?
They got the best player. They have Joker.
Right.
But the best player doesn't always win.
That's
shout out to Will Chamberlain.
That's true too. Right.
But usually the best player has at least one though.
Or they have multiple opportunities, but the best player doesn't always win. And I'm not. I don't know if he'll be a dynastic coach, but he's definitely a part of the reason why they.
Right.
If we're talking about player development, maximizing who they have, like they made Michael Porter Jr. a championship level piece, and he's a one-way, essentially one-trick pony.
Actually, I think Aaron Gordon is actually more important than Michael Porter Jr.
No. He absolutely is more important. But I'm saying they need all hands on deck. Like they don't win a championship without MPJ.
And the thing is, too, you got to give them credit with their health staff because remember, Michael Porter Jr. had those back problems. Like I think he played back
he played majority of the games this year.
Yeah, so that's the thing with him. Like he has a back issue. So if his back doesn't, if his back acts up, does the development really happen?
And they helped Jamal Murray off a torn ACL.
Yeah.
So I'll give them credit, right? But just allow me to give credit to other NBA franchises too. Like I don't want to have it be Nugget Fest because there are other good teams in the and while I'm picking the Clippers right now, of course, James Harden can show up tomorrow 15 pounds overweight and everything that we just talked about, we could just throw it in a recycle bin. Right? But also we could be talking about Denver and the Clippers, and OKC could be on the verge of either becoming a dynasty or becoming a present version of what they used to be. Right? A team that drafts well, drafts MVP caliber players. All of a sudden, you have maybe MVPs all over the roster, but in their infancy, you don't know they're going to be MVPs yet. Right? Yeah. They did it before. They could do it again. They have the same front office in place. OKC might jump the line and get to the finals. They may have figured it out. So what I'm saying is when you get to these top 6 teams, like 4 teams out west and 2 teams in the east, I think anybody can win it between Boston and the Knicks and Minnesota, Denver, OKC, and potentially the Clippers.
I will say this: if the Knicks get to the finals and don't have to play the Nuggets, I think they can actually win it. I think against anybody else, they should win the series.
Dang, man. I think you read my notes, bro, because I was actually saying the opposite. I was trying to hold it. I was like, is he saying that? I think if we make it to the finals against OKC, I think we in trouble.
Yeah, I think we're in trouble. But
That
anybody,
man Jalen Williams cooks us at both games.
when he sees the Knicks, he sees red for some reason. I think that's because we skipped on them in that draft, man.
But I saw in the game we lost against Denver, right? In that nip and tuck game. Remember late in the fourth quarter, it was like a close game.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were down 5. We missed. They came down and hit a 3. They went up by 8. The Knicks called a timeout, something like that. And they was playing Ron Browse, bro.
Yeah.
They was legit playing Pop Champagne.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, y'all was legit that lit about getting payback for the Knicks. It took y'all 44 minutes, right? It took y'all 44 minutes to get this 8-point lead, right? I think we can beat Denver. And mind you, we wasn't even healthy. They were completely healthy and rested. And they wound up stretching them. They throwing lobs off the glass to Michael Porter Jr. Remember that late? They throwing lobs off the glass to each other. They out there celebrating, high stepping. Yeah. Bro, y'all.
They got mad about it, but they came. I think when they came to us, they were on like the last game of a 5-game road trip. Like I think they were not anticipating us to play.
I feel that was more like a schedule loss more than anything.
I want an attorney like Dre, bro. I'm gonna hire Dre to be my lawyer too.
But I'm gonna say it, like just like how we lost to the Bulls, that one game where we were like, bro, we came home and then we immediately fly out back to Chicago.
Yeah,
and then we lost. We had dead legs.
Yeah, the Knicks have a lot of schedule losses this season. Even the first one against New Orleans. When they played Atlanta.
We played the Celtics and the Bucks 5 times each, and we still won 50 games.
Yeah, but on that Denver, and you're right about that, right? That's 10 games. But the point that I wanted to make about the Denver game, bro, legit, we played them off of. I think we might have lost to Utah, which is altitude, right? And then we went and play Denver.
Did we lose to
No, we beat Utah. That's right. We beat Utah in altitude, and then we go and play Denver.
No, crazy. We lost to Utah earlier in the season. When we faced the Nuggets, that was our second road trip. Our first West Coast road trip, we lost to Utah. It was a frustrating loss too.
Right. Yeah, it was a frustrating loss. Yeah, man. Yeah, but my point though is
that was the first iteration of the team.
Yeah, my point is you can make excuses about any game, but any team that plays in Denver plays in the altitude. They have a built-in advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and actually, they say Utah is actually higher altitude than Denver.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's just the worst team. So.
Yeah, I think it is. And
I think the players say that a lot. People don't realize that. The players know. They always talk about how high Utah really is.
Said before the first TV timeout, they lips chapped.
Yeah. That was so. That's my point against Denver, and that's it. And I know if we play them in the finals, the settings will be the same. It's still going to be altitude, right? But
you get used to it after the first game, at least.
Yeah, you're not flying out the same night. Is my point, right? Like if we go play them for game 1, we're gonna be in town like 3 or 4 days, or 3 days at least. You know what I'm saying?
And you're gonna get some practices in.
Yeah. That's the point. That's the point that I'm getting at.
But playing them in season, coming in the night before, you ain't acclimated at all. All you got is a nap and a shoot around.
Yeah, that's why they have an advantage. The schedulers, remember, they always say it, like in the first 2 to 5 minutes, they want to run up and down to get you gassed up and out of it.
Yeah.
Have you playing from behind.
Yeah, in altitude.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, man. So that's what I got. I have the Knicks in the NBA Finals against the Clippers, but I don't know. I don't have a result. Ultimately, my summation is Cleveland is soft, Boston is soft.
Damn.
Orlando is going to be playing. Orlando is going to be like playing the New York Giants in the playoffs every year, right? Whether you win or lose, you're gonna feel it. That's my thing.
It's a bunch of good defensive linemen
Yeah,
running into. No matter what iteration of the Giants, it's a bunch of defensive linemen and some linebackers.
Yeah, and I think the Boston Celtics are the Houston Oilers run and shoot. Right, that's what I think. That's what I think they are. Right, out west, they have so many good teams that you can legit pull a name out of a hat, and you may be correct.
It might be a bloodbath over there.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be interesting because now that it looks like New Orleans is going to beat the Kings and no Zion, that would be interesting if they had Zion playing.
Right.
Yeah, but without having that dynamic. Matter of fact, if Zion was playing, they'd give OKC problems because they're a big team.
They might win that series because that's a match. That's an even matchup, really.
Well, it's not even an even matchup. It's just like, it's a matchup like styles make fights.
Yeah,
and that team is so big. Like they're just big and athletic. That's the only thing OKC struggles with.
So if New Orleans wins, they'll be playing
OKC. Yeah, because they'll be the 8th seed.
That means Sacramento's going home?
Yeah, they're losing by 20 with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's like 16-point lead.
No, it's 20 now. 97, 77.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Hey, that's all I got, fellas. Y'all got anything else before we wrap?
That's all I got, man.
That's all I got. I just want to say thank you for having me again. I really appreciate it. Talking basketball is always fun.
Bro,
you remember chopping it up with you.
Yeah, hey, no doubt. But hey, Chief, you remember when I said I was going to try to keep it to 90 minutes? Remember
that? Yeah, I know. I got the clock right in my face.
Right. I told that man 90 minutes.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't going to be 90 minutes. I already know.
Yeah, man.
I could go for another 3 or 4, but you know.
Man. Just talking basketball, bro.
Yeah.
But chat, thank y'all for coming through and rocking with us. Hopefully we'll have more segments like this where we could just talk pure basketball. Just talk it from a basketball purist perspective, talking about the ins and outs and stats and matchups and things of that sort. So we are gonna get out of here. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all check out Ron. Still Knicks fans tomorrow. He's going to be doing a special show end of season tomorrow.
Shout out to Ron.
Yeah, man. And I'm going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here, everybody, y'all. Peace.